You have a great mentality, man. That's what we preach. That's what we talk about. Mentality is
Well,
huge.
we could talk a lot, man. I got a lot to say actually, but come to think about it, especially,
good.
and I'm glad we talked for a couple minutes just to get comfortable with
Right,
each
right,
other,
right.
like get to
Yeah.
know each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because, bro, I wasn't always like this. You know what I mean? And I think that
That's good. That's
especially
growth.
when I was like y'all
That's
age,
growth.
you know what I mean? And like I was cutting hair, but it was a little bit more of a slow progression, and I was actually able to find success in a lot of ways. And often because I think like my history, like you know what I mean. Like if we go back, you know, my story, like when I was young, was a story of like redemption. Truthfully, you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't start
at the top. You got to work.
No,
yeah.
no, I didn't even start at the regular. Like I didn't start at the starting line. I feel like you know what I mean.
Okay.
I feel like, and a lot of that was situational, environmental, but a lot of it was also what I put myself through, walking the wrong way, walking like we just talked about, walking back to Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Like doing myself a disservice. And then once I realized at an age about taking accountability for 100%, even in never having a victim mentality, bro, that's when my whole life changed. Like keys, just opening every door. You know what I'm saying? And then you get addicted to opening doors. You know what I mean? And then that's really what.
It's a snowball.
That's
Like,
the
people
new
think
party.
that shit is,
That's the new party.
People
that's
think
the new club.
That,
you know
how, have you ever heard like the expression like the snowball effect? But people usually think about it in a negative way. Like you can have a snowball effect in a positive way.
100%.
You can have an upward spiral.
No, it's the same way interest compounds.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like you're gaining.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
let's get it started, man.
There we go. There we go. Guys, welcome back to another episode.
Back, man.
This is episode number 50.
This is episode 50.
We have not missed a week, right?
Nah, this year.
We haven't missed a week. That was one of our goals to be consistent. So far, we're keeping up our
That's
word.
our only thing. Appreciate that.
That's big.
But we have a guest here today, as y'all can see. Yeah, go ahead and introduce yourself, man.
Yeah, bro. My name is Pat. I'm just a barber.
Don't say it like that.
You're more than that. You know, I happen to co-own Legends Barber Co too. It's a popping barbershop in Danbury. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. I'm just here to. I ran into this guy at the gym. We had a nice conversation, and I'm here to
just enlighten
vibe
people.
Out and yeah, we could talk about whatever.
I feel you, man. I appreciate you pulling up. That's a fact.
But like you guys invited me, man.
Hey, man. Got to.
Number 52, I like that number.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It's a special number, man.
First one of the year, too.
Hell yeah. All right, we starting off
year.
the year strong. Y'all already know, man. But let's say our announcements.
You guys can find us in Apple Podcasts, Spotify,
Google
YouTube,
Podcasts.
Google Podcasts. We have 2 channels on YouTube.
Tune in there.
Instagram is really popping.
Yeah, we about to get to 1,000 very soon, man. Let's get us to 1,000 followers on Instagram.
Appreciate the love, man.
Yeah.
And
make sure y'all check out his Instagram. The Instagram already popped up. Everything that y'all need is gonna be in the description as well. Like we say, if you want to promote anything on the podcast, make sure y'all hit us up on our email. It should be already up here somewhere or down here. It popped up. Our socials, Kenny already said everything. Go tune into that. Am I missing anything, Kenny?
No, sir. I think we're ready for this episode, man.
No, man. Let's get into this because we were having a conversation way before we even started rolling on the camera. I got a little bit of it, but I could already tell just the mindsets are aligning. Everything is good. Let's get into this, Kenny. You want to start with the questions?
No, okay. Well, I was gonna say in our podcast, we invite people that not only is close to us, but we can tell that they're doing something productive for themselves. So by that I mean that you have your own business, but you don't stop there. You do more, and I know that you go out of your way to do better, do good for others. So I want to give you a shout out for that because I know you're doing great things. Just the talk we had before. I told you the mindset you have is already
man. Y'all see some clips of it. I'll definitely put up some clips on that. Check out the Instagram for that. But
yeah, the behind the scenes.
Hell yeah. Go ahead, Kenny. Go ahead.
I just wanted to ask you, first off, where are you from?
Originally, I was born in White Plains, but I kind of grew up in like Mount Kisco, north of Westchester.
Yeah.
So and I moved out here. I bought a house in Brookfield like 2 years ago.
Okay.
So you've been here for
I've been cutting hair here since I'm like 21, which was 12 years ago.
12 years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. For us, that's like half my life, bro. So
yeah. I was already a barber out here when I was your age.
Okay. I got you. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Wait, so what brought you to Danbury?
Oh, that's a funny story. I guess like a girl, like you know what I mean, like so essentially like what happened was like. And we could get into that, like into my adolescence, like my late teenage year, like all that kind of everything forms of who you are, basically. You know what I'm saying? Like your life experiences. So, but essentially, like, I kind of was in a dark place, a troubled place.
Okay.
And I didn't even cut hair at the time. I laid tile.
Okay.
And
so he got skills. Okay.
Well, I got skill cutting things. I was a man at like cutting the tile, like the marble, and I'm making them. You know, so like my hands always kind of been finesse, like you know what I mean. And that's kind of something that's interested me. I used to like drawing and stuff when I was younger. And so essentially, bro, like I ended up just meeting this chick like in Danbury. I was kind of like hanging out with her, and didn't have a lot going on for me where I was from, and like I hung out with the same kids all the time, and you know, it was that kind of scene. You probably know without me explaining too much. And so I basically was like, all right, let me get my barber's license in Connecticut and go to this school in Connecticut, and then because it was like much more. I think a master barber license in New York is like $800, but you could cut hair for like $250. And at the time, there was no differentiation in Connecticut between the cosmetologist and the barber, so you needed 1,500 hours. So it was basically like double, triple, quadruple the school. So I was like,
you looked at it in like a strategic way, right?
Well, I just looked at it like, all right, I thought like coming out of school, which never is the case. Like I'll be much like better or nicer. You know, you kind of need to just go out there and get that
you need to get that
experience.
playtime,
100%. But I definitely learned a lot. And so once I got that license, by the time I got out of school, me and Shorty wasn't even messing with each other no more.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Also, I didn't take into consideration. Matter of fact, I know y'all had Vic on here. I met Vic in barber school.
Okay.
So we've known each other since then, and that's my man, bro. Shout out Vic.
Yeah,
bro.
shout out Vic.
Blessed by Vic. That's my guy.
He's always showing support.
I love him, bro. And so I met him like when I was like 20 years old or whatever. So I know him like 13 years, and we were like the only straight dudes in school, and like there was mad girls. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause we're going to like hair school, like you know what I mean? Like, so it was
the demographic different.
Yeah, so that was another temptation. Like at the time, being like a young man, and then like so there was a lot of factors why me and Shorty didn't work out, but it all God puts everything in your life for a reason at a time. Even when you're not ready, you don't see it like that, and so basically, bro, like that's what got me. And then once I had the license out here, I'm like, well, what's the closest part of Connecticut to New York? Like Danbury, Stamford, like those side of, and I just was like, all right, I'm just gonna rock out. I'm gonna drive to Danbury and get a job at the mall. And that's where me and Vic used to work, actually, like over at like CNC in the mall, bro. Like back in like 20. Is that 10 or 11, something like that? Bro.
Yeah, 12 years ago,
so
2012, 2010.
Yeah, it was like 20. Yeah, it was like 2010. Yeah, it's April 2010, I think. Something like that.
I got you. So I actually want to get into that, though, because you said you had like a redemption story. So I want people out there who are, if you're comfortable sharing it, I don't want to force you to say anything.
I honestly, bro, like I feel like I kind of prayed before I got here to be used as an instrument. And I feel like oftentimes, like I've kept my story. There's like a lot of things in my life.
Share,
well, like that, you feel shame towards or whatever. But I think also sometimes that's selfish of people not to say where they've been. Or what they've done, because ultimately that you could hopefully, right, like
inspire somebody.
you know what I mean, like humbly, right, because I'm still just a flawed human being who's trying every day.
Well, are we all?
But at the end of the day, like I definitely am far away from where I used to be, and I think that.
And much respect for that too.
Well, thank you, man. And a lot has to do. I gotta really, honestly, bro. Like a lot of that has to do by the grace of God, and also that I have a good woman in my life for
respect that.
Pretty much since that happened, bro. Like that 12 years, my next chick, like that's my girl now. We have 2 kids together. We
congratulations on that, man.
Thank you, man. I got almost an 8-year-old and almost a 3-year-old. So.
Hey, man, but. Okay, so now the reason I want to ask that is because you never know what anybody's going through. So maybe somebody might be in the same space that you were back then, and then, you never know what your words can do for them in terms of making them see something that they can't see right now, because sometimes you're in the dark and you can't see it, the little light that's in all the way in the back.
No, it's true.
So, I mean, if you're comfortable with sharing what you were going through.
You know what else too, bro? Like, once you really get to where you're in a place of life where you feel
when you're
peace,
comfortable,
like, what's somebody going to say? Like, you can use it against me? Like, bro, you can't
past
touch
that
me.
already.
Yeah, you can't. Honestly, my peace can't be touched at this point, especially by words like that.
I love to hear that.
Saying? So,
that's good.
We could go into it, man. Like when I was a kid, probably like 12, 13 years old, kind of when like the trouble really started. And, I spent 5 years like basically institutionalized after that through like in and out, right? But mostly out, and or mostly in, depending on how you look at it.
Yeah.
And a lot of it had to do with like I had a very early introduction, probably like started smoking weed and stuff like that when I was like 11 years old.
Okay.
Getting into drugs,
Just hanging out with the wrong crowd.
hanging out with the wrong people, getting into fights, like wanted to be, glorifying the wrong kind of people, glorifying the wrong kind of mentality. And also I think it just had a lot to do with me having a low self-esteem and finding that like, oh, I got attention if I did this, or like, whatever you think when you were 11, 12, adolescent, you don't really have a developed mind to begin with to be making. And then I kind of got a reputation as that. So because all my teachers and my parents, and my parents ended up kind of having to like, kind of like sign me over, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. And that kind of had like a, like an effect on me, like I was not like almost like abandoned, you know what I'm saying, and obviously I have a great relationship with my family now. I have great parents too, bro, don't get me wrong, but like they was kind of like being coached by like school and other people, professionals that like, oh, this is the best thing for your kid.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying, which they do a lot now in other ways, you know what I'm saying, which is not necessarily because that's a business, you know what I mean. So
indoctrination,
yeah, all that kind of stuff. And like basically, bro, like I ended up, getting in trouble with the law a lot, growing up and getting into very hard drugs, and that kind of spiraled into like homelessness at one point, and like
really?
All my front four teeth are fake, bro. Like I lived in Florida, I lived in all types of places, was in dark, dangerous situations, you know what I'm saying? Like, and, all that, like,
that's crazy.
Yeah, some of it, man, like it's like almost like a different life. Like I don't even believe it happened.
Nah, like looking at you, I wouldn't be able to like tell.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like all this fake.
No, it's fine.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, but it's like, and I know what it's like to be treated without my teeth. And how people treat you like that at the gas station, getting cigarettes or whatever, like, and walking around, like, you know what I'm saying?
They look at you different just because they see you.
Of course, man. You know what I'm saying? And the way I carried myself, like I didn't care, bro, about anything, And that's actually kind of also how I kind of got into it, because I had to cut my own hair. You know what I'm saying? Being in a situation that I had no bread. And most of the time I was living at places that my boys would, you know what I'm saying, hold me up at. You know what I mean? Got you. And but that was after years of me already being institutionalized in these places that I could go down the list and name, and they're all shut down. They're all shut down for abuse and stuff like that. They're not legal now. You know what I mean? Like you can't get away with what they did. You know what I mean? And I met a lot of people, and see, that kind of has an effect on you too environmentally, because when you're with literally crazy people, you start thinking to yourself, yo, I am this. You know what I mean? So then you start, and this is the thing, is that, and the reason I even go out of my way to share all that is because, your mind and your thoughts, bro, are so powerful. They so powerful because, and then your words, right? What you tell yourself.
Your words are magic. We say that at every episode.
Because they create curses, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I tell myself, oh, well, that's not me. You know what I'm saying? I'm this. Even then when I started walking in the right direction, I felt like uncomfortable about that, because I said, well, then who am I?
Yeah.
You
felt lost.
Yeah, I've had multiple identity crises, thank God. But I think that those were all periods in which like broke me, and I had to go a different way. You know what I'm saying? And grow, you know, as a result of that.
No, you could tell, bro. Like hearing that, I could have never imagined.
And
a
lot of people,
stuff like that.
a lot of people probably wouldn't, bro. And it's like, I did a lot of horrible, you know what I'm saying? Did a lot of horrible things, man. But you know what's crazy is I actually, I've kind of mentioned to you how big of a figure God and my faith is in my life. And I started the year with a confession, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel so good about it. Bro, like I let go of like so many years of like a lot of stuff. And now I feel like I got a clean slate, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Going into the whole new year with
and a lot of people might laugh at that because they think,
fuck them.
But I actually want to say, like, not even about, I don't really care what they think, but I really think that people are sleeping on the power of like not forgiving yourself. Forgiving yourself, you know, and then
did a whole episode
forgiving others. You know what I mean? So like, because you just carrying around resentment, man. That's a fact. You know, and I don't know if you ever heard this old saying, but it's like resentment. Somebody told me one time, it's like drinking poison and hoping the other person dies. I don't know if you ever heard that one.
It makes sense. I've never heard it, but it makes sense.
Because you're carrying around the toxicity. You know what I mean? And then that person don't even know you mad.
Yeah, it's like when you hate somebody, it's like you're the only person who feels that is yourself. The other person doesn't feel that.
Nah.
Yeah, but no, that's good. I like to hear stories like that, because you get to see new perspectives and stuff. Because bro, and everything, like we've had conversations in the barbershop and stuff like that, but bro, never would have imagined anything
it's
close
not,
to that.
I mean, it's not something I advertise. You know what I mean? Because obviously, you know, and it's the time and the place, and I just feel like it came up. You know what I mean? And truthfully, in the last podcast, I thought it was gonna come up, but it went in a different direction. It just wasn't my time to, you know, discuss anything like that. And that's
so you're
something
hearing it here first.
Yeah, that's probably something a lot of people who even work for me don't know. You
that's
know what
crazy,
I mean? Like,
but
it truthfully too, cutting hair. Hold on, time out.
Yeah,
saved my life, man, because that
was your purpose.
You know what I mean? And that kind of got me out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like exactly my why, right? Like, okay. And at first, like this wasn't something like I thought I would be where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? Like I was much more content with just being able to feed myself.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I feel like also the
life
more
is different. You live in a survival mode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I feel like the more you obtain, the more your expectations grow.
Yeah.
As well, like of what you want. Like I thought, if I make $40,000, like I'll
boss.
never ask for nothing again. God, please, like
and
just get me. I said, you know, now, now I need a little more than that.
I feel
please. You know what I'm saying? you know, respectfully. But
that's good, bro.
Yeah, but you gotta always want more. Obviously, bro. Like anytime you obtain, like I said, bro, it just becomes another. I kind of understand what they meant by like more money, more problems too.
It is true.
It is true. It is true, and that's why it's good to sometimes just be grateful for what we already have.
Yeah,
said with the same thing, because that's something that
every time I wake up, that's the first thing I say. I'm grateful for even being up today, bro.
Being up, walking,
you
know what I'm saying?
Yeah, being able to breathe, bro.
Able-bodied, being able to breathe, you know.
But I tell that to my mom every time I talk to her. She'd be like, "How you feeling today?" I'm like, "I'm grateful that I'm even awake." You know, like just because I'm breathing outside.
Places, man.
Nah, I like that. Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate that.
Sure.
But before we move on from the story, I actually do want to ask you, like, what did you like? What was going through your head like during those times, like when you were transitioning?
So in the period when I began my
you began transition, like what made you? What were you saying to yourselves that you you know, because I know there was like some words of affirmation or something that you had to like keep repeating to yourself. Or is it like you saw somebody, like an example of somebody else, and you were like, okay, I gotta like be more like this person, you know? If you get what I'm trying to ask.
Yeah, I'm trying to think back, and I'm gonna tell you honestly, man. It really, and I feel like I just gotta say like 1 and 2 before I get to 3.
Go ahead.
Like 1, there was multiple times where like, I didn't want to be alive. You know what I'm trying to say? Like I was kind of in a point of desperation.
That's raw.
Where multiple times, like, you know, on a train platform kind of deal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or like, kind of just trying to do a little extra to maybe not come back. You know what I'm saying? Kind of deal. Like, and then in that moment, in that time in my life, and I had many friends die. You know what I'm saying? I continue to have friends die that I grew up with. You don't live long in that lifestyle.
Yeah.
Basically, like my girl kind of came into my life that I'm with now, my wife, and that was kind of like, and I know this sounds like, you know, I would like to tell you, it would be a much better story for me to tell you like, it came all from inside me, and I had this revelation. It almost was just like this little candle where I was like, you know what, that little flame where I was like, yo, if I could get this shorty to just chill with me, bro, like I would be much happier. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like if I could just kind of clean myself up enough. So it was kind of like an external shallow thing at first, like, you know what I'm saying? But obviously that grew into like a loving family, which is a beautiful thing.
That's beautiful, bro.
Yeah, and I never want to be with nobody but my girl. Like I love her, you know what I'm saying? And I'm very grateful that I feel this way.
That's raw, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And that she feels the same. You know what I'm saying? That's a very like, and we're just in this like raising our kids together. But not to digress.
Behind every great man, there's always a great woman, bro.
Yeah, it's true, bro. Like, and a lot of people like in this day and age might not think so, but it definitely helps. Like, there's a reason that, you know.
That's why we have that dynamic, that male female.
Yeah, but
no, we agree with that, bro. Our whole family, like all our parents are like our small circle. All our parents are. There's both of them are in the picture.
Yeah,
we believe in that. He has a girl. I'm talking to a girl right now. Yeah, everybody around us understands that the male female dynamic is very important.
It's so important. I mean, statistics prove it. Like that's why,
especially with the dog going crazy.
It's right. Or PDMX.
Shout out Snowball. You go. What you say? My fault.
No. So like. Basically, bro, like that kind of like started it a little bit. Like, okay, like maybe I should.
There's a little spark you needed.
Yeah, maybe I should like clean myself up enough where I like could handle, or maybe get a little money, take her on a date type of thing. Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause it was that low, bro. Like, you know what I mean? I didn't have nothing, bro. And so like that kind of was the light in my life. And then I kind of made a deal, even though I was not like formally religious as I am now, bro. I was kind of like an agnostic or whatever you call it, like where I had a spiritual belief in something. Yeah. And like I kind of made a deal, like, yo, if you just if I could have this, like I will do it. I will change. This will be the beginning of my change. You know what I mean? And then when that came, I kind of just was cutting somebody's hair one day in the bathroom type thing. This is a little bit before. And it was like, I was complaining about my job, about doing construction and stuff. And at this point, let me just tell you something, bro. Like, I had lost that job too. Like, so I was coming in and out of jobs because I didn't really, and there was probably a year I didn't have a job and I did other things. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so that's why I was such a bum. You know what I'm saying? And so then basically I got into cutting hair. Like, I was cutting somebody's hair in the bathroom and they were like, oh, you could be a barber. And like a light went off in my head. Like, oh, I never even thought of this. Yeah, idea. Yeah. And then, you know, went to school or whatever. And then that's kind of how it all started. And one thing kind of went into another. Right. And then once I got into, I was like, I just was at the shop all the time, man. Like, I knew that if I wasn't, like, I was afraid of what I would go back to. You know what I'm saying? So it kind of like,
you're in the gym moment. Yeah, like, I gotta be in the gym.
Yeah, and I was obsessive and I kind of just chased it. And then, truthfully, in the beginning, it was like, I worshiped materialism, bro. And I cared about money because I knew if I have these sneakers and if I have this car and I have this money, no one could ever do that to me again. I could never be thrown aside again. And I could never not have again. And I was so afraid of that, man. I was so afraid of being broke again. Yeah. That I was like, I just chased that dollar, bro, and chased that dollar, which I'm grateful happened. And I think that
made you a hustler, you know?
Yeah, and the Most High already had that planned out for me because he knew I was going to get here. Yeah. But he knew I wasn't going to get there before I got there first. You know what I'm saying? That was just for me, you know? Like,
or without him.
Yeah, without him. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sense. And so, basically, bro, like, I chased that dollar, bro, and like that, like, cutting hair, bro, saved my life. I did it addictively. You know, I did it.
Became a master of your craft.
You know what I mean? Like, became a master. And then I started gaining, for the first time in my life, respect. Yeah. And self-respect and a self-esteem because I was out in somewhere that nobody knew me, bro. So my horrible past didn't follow me from New York. Like, I was in Danbury and I just was cutting hair, bro, and like following that life, bro, and like getting some money. And then it was just one thing at the now. All of a sudden I got my own spot. And you know, just before,
the spiral, you started going up.
It was before the barbershop. I mean, like, got my own apartment. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then I worked at a shop out here for 8 years, bro. And that's when really my career kind of really took off over at Dave's. And you know, like, basically, bro, I lived there. And Dave will tell you, man, like, anybody who worked with me will tell you, bro, like, there's been times, bro, where I would work there. This is not even healthy, bro. Like, I would go and I'd work there till 1 a.m, sleep in the back of his barbershop. The cleaning lady would wake me up. And then I'd get back up. I'd have my first client at 6 a.m. That's awesome. You know what I'm saying? And like bird bath it. And then cut till 10 o'clock that night. You know what I mean? And then there was times where, and then also, because I lived an hour away. I was also driving 2 hours a day in the car from New York to Newtown Road. Once we moved from South Street up to Newtown Road, I was like... And just going back and forth, you know what I mean? And then,
grind, bro. I respect that.
And then it kind of became everything else, bro. Like, believe it or not, like, once I opened the barbershop, and I know I rambled my fault, but...
You good, bro. Keep going.
It wasn't even until I got the bread, right, where I was like, okay, I already have my son now. He's like 3-4 years old, I think, at the time. And I don't have my daughter yet, but I basically had enough bread to... get legends, right? Open the barbershop up. Yeah. And this was like my dream. This was like all for take. You know what I'm saying? And it was like a what now moment for me. And especially part 2 of that was COVID when they shut it down. Yeah. Of like, you know, kind of who am I really? Because when you took the cutting hair away from me, bro, I was
you don't know, you were lost.
Up, bro. I never fixed me. You know what I'm saying? Like, that person didn't go away yet. Yeah. You know what I mean? I was still I was just hiding it in something else. You know what I mean?
Makes sense, yeah.
And then when I was able to figure out, like, yo, so right before, as soon as I opened a barbershop, I quit smoking cigarettes, bro. right? Which doesn't sound like much to most people, bro. But that was like, who was I? That was part of my identity, bro. Like, I'm a Newport smoker in New York. Like, this is what we do. I'm gonna die from this. I just tell people I'm gonna die from this. I love smoking cigarettes. You know what I mean? And then about 3.5 years, I haven't had no nicotine, nothing.
Respect that.
You know what I'm saying? And now I don't even
Stay
drink.
strong.
I don't even smoke bud now.
Strong.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that was recent that I don't smoke bud. But like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I realized that all these things are they're making me less productive, bro. You know what I'm saying? And they're making me a slave to something. And like we kind of started our conversation off with earlier before the mics came on, like that the freedom actually comes from doing stuff that nobody wants to do, bro. Yeah. And freeing yourself from all these distractions all this cheap dopamine. Yeah. There's so much cheap dopamine with technology.
TikTok crazy with it. Yeah.
Look, man,
this phone is crazy, bro.
I got a crack pipe in my fucking pocket right now. This iPhone, bro. Yeah. This thing could come out. You go on social media. You know, never mind. I don't know if you saw the last podcast, you listened to it or not, bro, but I talk extensively about pornography and what that does to people's mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and even the alcohol and the weed, like, what am I celebrating, man?
That's
true. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I'm somebody's dad, and I'm not here to be like that old guy. You know what I'm saying? Like,
nah, bro. Sometimes somebody needs that. But some person needs.
You know,
that.
And hey, listen, plenty of people live productive lives and do all types of shit. You know what I'm saying? But I just think that like, true freedom comes from like not needing it being a complete. Who's at complete peace? How many people you know, bro, got real peace, bro? You know, like their serenity, they got complete peace, bro. Like without doing something for that, without like, oh, I gotta go hit my FanDuel or like I see people all the time like bite their nails, walk around like they need to.
That's just crazy.
They're itching for something, you know. Oh, let's go get these girls. Let's go do the. Let's have another distraction. But if you put them in a room and told them to sit quietly, can they do like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So it runs.
It's like torture.
It doesn't happen in this day and age, bro. People our age. That's why we keep our circle so small, bro. We have basically it's the same 5 people. Nobody else is coming in. That's it.
Especially like you were saying, it's so easy to get distracted nowadays.
That's a fact, bro.
And like he was saying, we try to stay our circle small, productive. We have a group chat. We always talk about motivate. So we send videos. We send
knowledge and just in general, bro. Just try to keep each other accountable. A bunch of things that can
make you not only feel better, but
make yourself better. Mentally. That's a fact. And then I want to talk about this as well because you said true freedom and getting more into the business side now. But I believe true freedom comes when nobody can tell you what time to wake up, when you could do whatever the hell you want that day. You know what I'm saying? Like you're an entrepreneur yourself, so you understand the whole journey. So we want to ask you a couple questions about that as well.
You might not like my answers, but
and bro, go ahead, say whatever you got to say. Don't try to change anything, bro. But I wanted to ask you though, like what's been the most difficult part about like, owning your own shop? Like owning your own business,
managing personalities.
Okay, I got you. Why'd you say that?
Because you don't get paid to do that. So it's for free. Essentially, it's part of the business. So I wouldn't say it's for free, right? But it's a factor that managing personalities because I don't get paid for it. But again, obviously, you get paid to have a copacetic work environment. You know what I'm saying? Because down the line, that's gonna create an environment where people are flourishing, people are happy to come to work. Yeah. You know,
that's something that Vic mentioned as well. He said he loves going to work, bro.
Yeah, he's the man. But he works next to me, man.
Yeah, he's right next to you.
Nah, he loves it. And honestly, man, Vic loves the game. Vic loves cutting hair. Vic loves the Vic inspires me too because he's like he always keeps my haircuts honest, man. You know what I'm saying? Like he won't let you slack.
Yeah, you know, that's accountability. You gotta have people around you like that. Yeah,
and he just has a lot of pride in his work, man, and it shows, bro. Look at his stuff. Man.
For
he's
real.
nasty with it. So,
shout out Vic for sure.
Shout out Vic for sure. But the managing the personalities part is difficult, man, because it's like it takes a certain type of finesse too, because. Barbers, right? And as you heard from my story, and it's not just me, most of us are like kind of, I use the term second chance people.
I got you.
And a lot of them are in the game because they don't want to be, they don't really, you could rent your own barber chair and you kind of your own boss type of deal. Or so they think. So like at the end of the day, like that's kind of how they don't like to be. They don't like authority. If they wanted to join the military, bro, they would have. You know what I'm saying? If they you know what I mean? If they wanted to take orders, they would have. They kind of cut hair for that reason.
I got you.
You know? And I think that So that you have to firmly but gently, if that makes sense, right? So firmly, so you have that type of respect.
Yeah.
But also gently, so you don't cause a reaction that would be unwarranted and hurt them more than it's gonna hurt you probably, or hurt your business down the line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense, bro.
So it's that's probably been the hardest thing for, at least speaking for myself, to balance. You know, like. But I have a great business partner too who helps with that, and you know, we bounce off with each other with that. But definitely,
it's one of the things that we talked actually last episode too, right?
Yeah.
You know, those are talks that when you have a business with somebody else, those are talks that you need to have. Like I'll give you an example for us when we first started this. There was times that he would call me out like, "Yo, Kenny, I need you in 100%. I need you to help me with this. I need you to do this for me. I need you, you know." And like he said too in the beginning, it was more of a like, okay, let's just
like we're just doing this.
Let's just turn the cameras and record.
Like now this is our business.
But now it's like we taking it full on 100% serious, and
that's good, man. Well, that was the same thing with me. Cutting hair was a hobby, bro. I used to get my boys shape ups in the bathroom real quick. We go down to the Bronx, go out like to the club, whatever, and like hang out, like. Or we had a shorty coming over. I clean everybody up real quick, number 2 all around, like you know. And then it just turned into like, you know,
something else, something bigger. And that's crazy too, because if you hear it coming from that side, bro, I'll say this, but I've heard it from many people, not just from me. I've heard it from a couple of different people. You're in the top 3 conversation of best barbers in Danbury, and I've heard that for a couple of years, bro. I'm telling you this like straight up. You and then I believe Vic might be in the top 3 as well. I'm not too sure. Definitely top 5. So just to hear that from multiple people, that's how you know it's really true. So to hear it coming from cutting hair in the bathroom and taking it as just like a hobby to now owning your own shop and all that, it just shows the journey, bro. So congratulations on that as well.
Thank you so much, man. That means a lot to me, bro.
Yeah, you got any more?
The work you put in, it's not unnoticed, man. I heard that too. I heard that, you know, from what you just said. Before you even came, he was like, yo, I got this guy. I met in the gym, da-da-da. And I was like, let me do some research, you know, like I told you before. And I heard the same thing. I heard you one of the best in town and the whole New Fairfield County too.
Yeah, I try, bro. I definitely try, bro.
And it's well deserved because from what I can tell from your whole story, we always say about the 10,000 hours. It's like when you put in all this time, this effort, you master your skill and you do it so good until the point that you can't mess it up. You know what I mean?
You know what too, man? And I appreciate that, bro. But I just to kind of like elaborate on that. I think also what makes a good barber is not just, because I've had barbers that work for me, bro, like in the past that have come and gone and stuff like that. And very, very good at cutting hair, bro. Like skillful master barbers. But there's a lot of aspects too to being a barber. Like I call them, and I tell my people all the time, I'm like, there's hair cutters and then there's barbers. You know what I'm saying? Okay. It's almost like there's people who cook and then there's chefs. Like like essentially like there's other aspects too of like building relationships with your client. Being responsible,
services,
like being on time as much as possible, because it is difficult with traffic and then your last guy and stuff like that, and we're very busy. But like just being accountable, you know, and also no matter how far you go, continue to be humble, and because that humility. Sometimes I see a barber get 100 likes on Instagram, bro, and then like you know, I'm gonna start charging $150 for a shape up, and like, you know, like, if this guy's 10 minutes late, I'm not cutting him, but he's been with me since day one. I don't care anymore because I'm hot right now.
Come on,
you know, and it's like you got to be like kind of humble, man. It's the best word to describe it. Like you got to remember where you came from, and I never forget, bro. You know, like you said, like waking up with that gratitude, bro, already humbles you. It already puts you in a place of humility because you know that you don't necessarily deserve it. Well, who deserves to be paralyzed, though?
Nobody.
Who deserves to be born into poverty, bro?
Born blind.
Born blind, you know, born deaf. Like anything, right? And I have all these functions, and I'm feeling sorry for myself today because that
puts it into perspective.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And it all comes from like the funny places, bro, like envy and all them like 7 deadly sins,
low vibrational
bro.
shit. Yeah,
bro, like all that shit, bro, like it really transpires into like a shitty attitude on life. Yeah. And you're the actual person who suffers that
the most. Yeah.
sometimes yes, the people around you as well, but if they're good, man, they don't even
you won't feel it. They won't feel it.
Yeah, they don't hit them, man.
But no, man, that's crazy. Make sure y'all keep people around you who are gonna keep you accountable, and we say that every episode basically. So that's good that we got into that. I have another question. We're gonna get into the episodes.
We'll see, man, because the talk is too good.
Yeah, the talk is very good right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm having fun.
I'm having a great time, man. Yeah. Ask me whatever, man.
So I wanted to ask you, right? Since you just mentioned the barbers getting 100 likes and then they want to charge $150 for a shape up, what's the most you've ever gotten paid for a haircut?
Oh, that's a lot. For a single haircut.
For one single cut.
Oh, this kid.
Or let's say a single service. You know,
I'm gonna say.
More than that.
Can I say his name?
You can go ahead, bro. That's on you. You comfortable with it?
Shout out Ben. Okay, he moved to Miami. Okay, and my man does it big from Danbury, bro. Like he worked with artists like Dave East, like I'm not cool anymore, bro. So I don't know a lot of people's names like that.
I got you.
What's the shorty's name? Like, and she got her name was like Ruby something.
Ruby Rose,
bro. You know who she is.
Yeah.
So exactly.
The only reason I know it because every time I see something about her, it's always just some ass. Like that shit gets me tight.
No, it's crazy. It's
some
crazy.
whole shit. Like I don't fuck with that.
Yeah, I know. I feel you. Well, I like that about you, man. That's what's up. But we all human, man. You know, I've seen it. But yeah, so like people like that, whatever. So he actually moved down to Miami on an opportunity that like some rapper he was working with like gave him like a $8,000 a month like apartment that he was gonna continue to rent, and he didn't have to pay for like until he went ahead and got himself his own crib down there. So he got a house down there now. But he hit me up like around, and this was recently, and I think this is the most I ever got. But I've had something close to this many times. But I think he gave me like $250. For a cut, bro. And he was like, "Yo, Pat, like if you fit me in, I'm gonna give you $250." I'm like, "All right." Like,
you thought he was flying around and shit?
Nah. I knew he was the one. I know he don't play, but I was like, "All right, yeah." Like come at 8, like it just so happened I had like an 8 a.m. like where I could have came in. I come in at 7, so that's no problem for me. But yeah, man. Oh, it was his man's, my other client, Doug. It was his wedding, actually. So I think he wanted to get cleaned up before that. He was in town. He knew he didn't make it like a couple weeks in advance because that's usually the type of time I'm on. Like it'd be like a week or two, please, at least. You know what I'm saying? And then, he hit me up like the weekend before, bro. It's like, can you fit me in next week? I'm like, yeah, bro, I got you. So yeah, that would be the most that I recall. Like I've done weddings too when people bless me. Like I'll do the wedding party and I'll come up to the crib, like the hotel room. And I've gotten blessed like on it, but that's like doing 5 haircuts. Budget. Like and then they'll come and like give me a whole thing. But I think on an individual, it's kind of like a bundle, right?
Yeah.
But so I think basically 250 has to be. But I've gotten 100 so many times, man. You know what I mean? Like, and I feel grateful because I would have never thought when I was in the 5th floor of that building doing fucking haircuts with
in the bathroom.
All fucked up. That I would be worth $100 for my time. Yeah, you know. And
that's what's up.
Thank God, man.
Yeah, you here. That's all we need to see. So I wanted to ask you this too, because you own a barbershop, and then we like to talk about business a lot. So I wanted to ask you, like, how profitable is it to own a barbershop? If you get what I'm saying. Like, you don't have to say numbers and all that.
Oh, okay, like, not as profitable as I would like it to be. And I think that probably resides in the fact that it used to be where people would be on commission, and that was if it was commission, bro, the numbers that Legends does, like in a year, like I see the Vagro side, we've added it up, like we almost hit like $1 million in haircuts last year, but that's everybody cutting hair. That's not my money. Okay, I'm not a millionaire by any means yet. But so that would be dope. Because back in the day, like when I first started, it was like, 50 went to the house and 50 went to the barber. And I was cutting hair for like $12. So I was getting like $6 a haircut. You know what I'm saying? Plus I get the tip or something. And then it was 15, 18, whatever. And now I cut hair for like $40 or whatever. But so basically, once it went to rent, right? Now also, here's the thing. Where's your location?
Yeah, it depends where
you
you're
know
at.
What I'm saying? What's your business plan? How many barbers do you have? You know, like all that plays. You know, how many products do you move? What are you using with your space and your square footage? Like vending machine, ATM, little arcade, maybe something like that. I got all that not right now. But Is it super profitable? I think the more of it comes from like now I don't have to pay a chair.
Yeah.
Right. So let's say a chair is $300. Right. That's kind of a median in Danbury. Right. Let's say it's like $300. So $300 times 52. We could get the calculator out. I think if my math is correct, it's probably somewhere near like 16 bands to 18 bands, something like that.
15.6.
15.6. Okay, so I said that. So $15,000. I'm $15,000 richer as soon as you open it, basically, because God willing that you're not putting like the first year. I think I did have to put in, but now I don't have to, right? Anymore. So that's $15,000. I'm richer just off that, right? But as far as like what the business is producing, a lot of that changes because of the inflation. Like, do you own the spot? Like if you were in a contract like with a landlord, they could be like, well, it's 5 years now. We're gonna reconstruct it based off fair market value. We got Planet Fitness just moved there. They can hit me with whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I gotta adjust off that, and then I have to have the team agree to that and realize that that's not coming out of greed, and that that's coming out of like, yo, try it on your own, bro. It's gonna be, you're gonna see it's the numbers. So the game really got, and this is the crazy shit, bro. I was only open we opened June 2019. You know what I'm saying? And then they shut me down March.
I was gonna ask you that.
2020. So before I was even a year open, and then they didn't give Legends Barber Co, like the LLC. They didn't give that a PPP loan because I only had 6 months of taxes. And I technically don't have any employees. They all are tenants because they all rent. So then it was like whatever money we had like to keep us afloat was to keep us afloat, bro. And we were putting money in out of like my savings account. Like now my business is drowning and I got to throw it at that. And I just had my daughter March 1st of 2020. So my girl was not interested in me getting going and doing haircuts at the time based off the information we had at the time. And that, I lived in New York, bro. Cuomo was doing, when he was still the governor, before he got kicked out, he still was, on TV every day telling us that we couldn't go outside, but he had a freshie. You know what I'm saying? Like, I respect that. Yeah.
Some bull, but no,
but we made it through it, bro. You know what I'm saying? And you know what? I'm happy it happened now because, again, right? I told you part 2 of me realizing that as much as I had all these things, bro, and I had the girl of my dreams, I have my kids. I have 2 beautiful kids, man. I'm very blessed, bro. And I had like, my business. When I got shut down, and I still was about to buy a house, you know what I'm saying? But so I was good. I had bread, like I had money saved. But nah, man, it made me realize that I had no identity outside of cutting hair.
I got you.
Like, there's PKTheBarber, right? And that's kind of how maybe I got a little bit, that God willing, that I got this notoriety, like, oh, Pat's a great barber. Yeah, I've dedicated my entire existence to it. But then when it was taken from me, bro, who was Pat, bro? And that was a dark period, bro. Like, that was another rebirth, man, where I had to start all over again. It felt like I was in that position I told you about, man. And now here I am today, bro. And I feel better than I ever have, bro. And in 2023, I know it's day 2, but I'm telling you, man, I have a mentality right now that and like I was talking about with you with like New Year, whatever, like whatever, and how like we don't believe in that, but we think anytime you see a window of opportunity to capitalize, and about like something, it was last April, but definitely like this September, man, something went off in me, man. And I've never let it go.
That's
and
good,
I refuse
bro.
to give it back.
Keep that fire going, man.
Yeah, I'm just keeping the fire going, man. And it's brought me to a place that's like, I'm much more health oriented. Like you guys were talking about, I was never like that, bro. I used to eat whatever. I haven't eaten pork in a year. Nothing wrong with like, bro, normally my girl, she's Puerto Rican Italian, so like she would cook like a nice panini like on January 1st and shit, and we get it busy. But she made lamb for me this year because she knows that I don't eat pork anymore. Just because it's just my like personal opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't think that that's not health advice at all. I think people are completely healthy, probably eating pork, but it's just not for me. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
And just anything that I eat or drink, I think like, bro, I just drink water and black coffee now. Like I don't even drink soda or nothing like that. Like you know what I'm saying? Bro. Yeah, just cause. And I tried, cookies in the holidays. I was killing them, but I'm not gonna do them no more, man. For the next, for like till like Easter, like I told you, because I'm on that program. So that shit is like mad regimented, bro. Like,
my boy just started that shit too. Day one.
I do. The beginning of the year, I do. I mean, you since I actually can talk to you about it. Not that I'm talking to you about this.
Go ahead, man.
But you read the Bible. I don't want to mistake the names because the names are different from Spanish to English when it comes to the Bible. But I'm pretty sure it was.
Háblame en español, man. No. Yo hablo español un poquito.
La mujer de Boricua.
Yeah. So she don't speak Spanish, bro.
No.
I learned all that shit in the barbershop.
So there's this guy. There's this guy in the Bible. I believe his name was Daniel.
Mm-hmm. Book of Daniel.
He they put him they give him options and they told him to sing praises to a god, but not really a god. You know the story?
Yeah.
So
it's pretty much
they had him they put him in prison and they were feeding him, but they were like, he was like, I'm not gonna eat this stuff that you made for me. I'm gonna eat what God made for me. So all fruits, vegetables, all that's what I'm on. That's what we do every January. As you can tell, I'm just drinking water, but I send a voice every day. I send a picture of my meals.
Well, that's
to get them motivated too.
Yeah, it was actually for religious reasons I stopped eating the pork was because it's in Leviticus. Right. However, if we go, I don't want to turn this into that kind of podcast because I'll go on forever. But there's a lot of in Christian doctrine, or catechism, or whatever you want to, whatever denomination, whatever. Basically, it's universal that Christians believe in the new covenant that we don't have to follow the old covenant rules anymore. But there's some things that I'm not sure about, and in my spiritual journey, I'm kind of always open to thinking that, maybe nobody has it completely figured out except what's in that scripture. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of ways to interpret certain things as well. But that's kind of what got me started not eating pork. You know what I'm saying? Was because it was in the third book, which is Leviticus. But I know exactly what book you're talking about, Daniel, which that's a good one too. They're all good books, man. Yeah. Actually, bro, it's crazy because it's it could be hard to kind of get through and read and stuff like that. But bro, even just Genesis and Exodus, bro, I just recommend people.
Super interesting.
Yo, because if you just keep going at it, bro, every story, first of all, in my opinion, every Marvel movie, they all steal it from that shit. Yeah. The Bible, bro, is the littest story ever. Okay, and it's multiple. It's not one story. It's I think in the Old Testament, well, it depends.
27.
Yeah,
30,
27 and
I believe 34.
So it depends. Known. So if you in the Catholic doctrine, I think it's 77, but in 66 in the King James and the Protestant Bible. So which Martin Luther took I think 7 books out of the Old Testament in the 1500s, which was when basically all these denominations came about, because it used to just be you was either Catholic or Orthodox before that. You know what I'm saying? And,
that sounds interesting. I mean, I've never actually took the time to sit down and read the Bible, but I've always been interested in that, and the Quran is also one I've always been interested in actually sitting down and reading.
They got one of
there's a lot, bro.
Barnes and Nobles, the Quran is a beautiful book too, man.
Yeah, I mean, going in the store, I don't know about that. Maybe looking it up online, but then you never know if you're actually reading the correct stuff. So it's just
I think if you buy something, it makes you more accountable to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because then you spent your money on it, or at least you pay the penalty for saying you're gonna do something and then didn't.
I wanted to say too. Of course, shout out to your girl for understanding things you're trying to do. I did want something similar to that. I went the whole year. Not that I was addicted, but I used to eat a lot outside, like McDonald's, Burger King, Wendy's. Those were my stops.
Yeah, but that shit was good, bro.
I know.
Chick-fil-A still calls me sometimes, and I gotta drive by. Yeah,
I feel
the thing is,
Wendy's, bro. Wendy's, that's the one that be calling me. I don't eat McDonald's. I'm off of that. Burger King, off of that. Wendy's is the only one that really calls me.
I used to Uber eat Wendy's last summer, bro. Not even maybe, Probably.
Yeah, that shit is the Baconator. That should be calling me, bro, on everything.
Wendy's used to be a stop, man, and I told him and my girl, every time I used to live right next to McDonald's, so every time I get home late and I know there was no food in my house,
it's right there. Might as well, right?
And even with my girl, oh my God, let's eat out, let's get something quick. So McDonald's, so we'll go there. And last year I told her, from now on, I'm not gonna eat no fast food place, no McDonald's, none of that.
I like that.
And I went the whole year with that. And
nah, he saw you.
One time,
he had it once. We had a baseball tryout, and we were hungry, so he stopped at burger. What was it? It was Wendy's, right?
It was Wendy's.
It was Wendy's. We stopped at Wendy's, and he had a burger.
Well, yo, bro, to live around here and to have it only one, cause yo, in Westchester like that, bro, we don't have it as much as up here, bro. That was the first thing I noticed when I came out to Danbury, like Brookfield, whatever. Yeah. Bro, I never. Bro, we got next to my shop, we got a Chipotle literally in front of another Chipotle. I'm not even playing, bro. They put in the Chipotle at the FYE, so that's like two Chipotles in front of each other. I never even seen it like that. Then you get go down Federal Road,
Buffalo Wild Wings and all that.
Yeah, Buffalo. Like yo, it's hard. Newtown Road, bro. Like it is flooded, and it's. Go ahead, my fault.
No, go ahead, continue.
Well, I was gonna say, I think that's also a negative impact of the pandemic was that only those places could survive, and a lot of the mom and pops got a lot of PPP money too. Don't get me wrong, but like. They weren't. They don't have the capital to sustain shutting down. That's unheard of, bro. Yeah. That's not supposed to happen.
That's not.
And then, like that enforced like all these empty vacant spots to be taken over by like
the big corporations.
Who don't care about us. Who
they don't care about the health. Stuff I don't know. That shit is nasty, bro.
And yeah, it's not good, bro. It's not good.
Not at all, man. So
I tell them all the time.
I respect that. Just the diet in itself, bro. You can't be somebody who's very strong-minded and be on that, or somebody who's not strong-minded and be on that diet,
it's just too good to be true, man. Like you take a bite of what is it, the Big Mac, bro.
That sauce I do miss.
That's what I'm saying. It's too good to be true. Well, I tell you, I did that.
Shit is disgusting.
I had a burger, but it wasn't like I can just see McDonald's like the burgers, and not to talk about but I see McDonald's and it just kills my appetite, literally. Well, like I see a burger and I'll be like, I'm super good.
You're far enough away. See, that's what happens. Like, I think in anything, right, that's not good for us, right, and we're addicted to it, right? Bro, like that. I'll give you a perfect example, man. That's how I feel about porn now, bro. Like I'm not gonna say like, oh, I'm disgusted by it. You know what I'm saying? But I have zero interest in watching it to the point where like, you know, I'm not even tempted to watch it anymore. You know what I'm saying? But because like, but that was something, you know, like any other man, and not even knowing that was like a bad thing. Bro. You feel me? Like growing up in a culture where
they talk about it in school. Like, you think it's normal?
Right before you walked in, I opened my Instagram and I saw
that shit is so.
I'm like, bro, like, and it used to be like, oh my god, no, you can't even see. It was so hard to find them. Bro, I opened my Instagram. The first post I saw,
my explore page, bro. I don't even do that shit on my there's nothing on my phone, bro. My browser has not been cleared in mad long, so I don't need to no more. You know what I'm saying? So my shit is I got receipts that look like CVS, bro, on my fucking browser, and fucking there's not one thing in there that should be creating an algorithm other than maybe that I follow people who like those things. You get what I'm trying to say? But like they don't let you go, man. That they want you captivated, hard body into, and it's destroying our culture, and it's destroying
people's minds,
young women, bro. Because going back to cheap dopamine, bro, like that's the cheapest dopamine a beautiful young female could get, and it also holds a lot of power. For that shit, exactly. It's idolatry, and it's also like that they're holding a false sense of power where they're actually gonna deprive themselves of true love, because then they become. I saw a podcast, bro, and this shit disgusted me, son. Like it was a clip, and it was
two females sitting on
I think it was like a Fresh and Fit thing, and it was like it was just, I don't know what it was, but they basically were like, yo, the man of your dreams or Instagram, and they all picked Instagram, bro, because crazy. They're like, yo, I don't care how good he is, he can't give me what Instagram gives me. And yo, bro, I wouldn't be surprised.
A couple likes on my fake screen, a couple pixels.
You know what it is? And matter of fact, a lot of women, and I hate to say it, bro, but I think that they're also miscalculating their own self-worth, right? Because they have all these filters and all this Photoshop, and so the attention they're getting through the DMs and the pictures and all that and the likes and whatever else they do.
They think that that's like their true love is actually doing that. Like those people just want to fuck.
That's their cheapest dopamine, attention. As long as they get a bit of attention,
they love that shit.
Well, they also seeing, it's not even about like their true love. I think it's the quantity of men coming at them on that.
They all think that they all feel like
that's going to transpire to, or like, you know.
Transcend,
to when they go outside. And then they don't really look like that
at all, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Half the time, or even if they do look like that, like if that's all you offer, I think men who are in a position who have like, you know, what they want, don't necessarily, that's not enough because there's plenty of good looking women that want to be with them. You know what I'm saying? Because they could offer them the lifestyle that they think they're entitled to based off of their skills doing makeup. You know, and not to talk down on girls, because seriously, bro, like I say that out of love and because I have a daughter and because I think that I'm just so fortunate that I was like alive, bro. Like that 10 years that I'm older than you guys, bro, I saw all this shit happen, bro. Yeah. Like I was basically your age, and not to sound like I'm old like that, but like when IG came out, like I think I was 22, bro. And because IG only been out like 10, 11 years, like that. You know what I'm saying? Like 12 years, maybe, whatever. I'm 33, so.
Yeah, I think it was like 2009, something like that, 2008. If I'm not mistaken, maybe 2011, something like that.
I think I downloaded 2011. It just came out. My boy's like, "Oh, you got to download it." It was just picture. It was whack compared to what it is now. You know, it was before Mark Zuckerberg bought that shit, turned it into like TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, all in one. But yeah, man, I think it's like that's the other thing. That 90-day thing I'm doing, like no excess internet, bro, no excess TV. So I'm gonna be doing plenty of reading, which I'm excited about.
That's good, bro.
Yeah, but like, yeah, it's just like. No, bro, I got DM. I could pull it out right now, bro. Like, I don't even go on Instagram, bro, because I feel like it's hard not to go on, bro, if we're all having an honest conversation right now and not compare ourselves to others. I think it's a tool made to do that. You know what I'm saying? Even if you try to put your
your ego aside,
your ego aside, and your subscriptions to something that you kind of like. You know what I mean? I think people are not being authentic. Okay. Like they are on.
They always try to show like the perfect side, the perfect
angle. Go to
their
Twitter, bro. They talk completely different on their Twitter than what they show you on their IG. That's how I know they fake. You know what I'm saying?
What you see on IG is what they want you to see, man.
Yeah, it's like a brochure. Like, oh, this is my life. This is my catalog. This is my best moments. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't showing you anything that took them to either get them there or they fucking capping, bro. Yeah. Excuse my language, bro. Like,
no, you good. You can say whatever you want.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to clean it up though. But they out here capping, bro. Like people in rentals and fake jewelry or wearing their boy's chain and like for what, man? It's not real.
Validation.
Yeah, but it's all external. That's like bro, that's fleeting. You know what I mean? Like if you're not really building something and you're wasting your time focusing on. That's why me and Vic talk about this extensively at the barbershop. He's always like, oh, Pat, like, hates the future, hates the metaverse. And, maybe I'm like that old guy now, bro. But I think that you ever play video games when you were younger?
Yeah, all the time.
All right, bro. I love video games.
On that shit,
me too, bro. And like, you know how much time and energy I wasted, bro. Think about it. Consume. Yeah. And I felt like I was doing something. Like, oh, I unlocked this. Or, oh, I got far in that.
Fake
you know
achievements
what I'm saying?
and shit.
Fake achievement. My 2K score is that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and none of that.
Kill death ratio.
Once the new, kill death ratio. Once the new one comes out, bro, that shit, none of that shit. All your bank account was just erased. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got nothing to show for it. And you could have spent that time outside or at the gym where I saw you or doing something or read or educating yourself. You know what I'm saying? Or just creating real value.
Unless you're a gamer, like a professional gamer.
And shout out my boy Gene, bro. I cut this kid, bro, who used to work for Uber, but not like driving one. He was working for like corporate Uber, and he was like he's Brazilian. So he used to fly down to Brazil. He dude out of Danbury. Now his name's Glory Gene, bro. Check him out. Call of Duty, bro. The top one, bro. Like yeah, bro. He's got like I don't know hundreds of thousands of subscribers. Yeah, man. He's killing it, man. And he just plays Call of Duty, bro. And that all came from the pandemic too, man.
Yeah,
and then he's like, I think I'm gonna do this for real.
Yeah.
So besides him,
I feel you.
He's the only one I know getting real paper off that, bro. But that's one out of everybody I know playing.
That's the good thing about the technology, though. Now, like now, it opened up so many doors that somebody has the ability to do that now. You know what I'm saying?
That is a good thing. But I think everybody now wants to be just like everybody used to want to. Yeah, well, everybody used to want to be an actor in the '90s, and they go to LA or whatever. They want to be a musician, and then SoundCloud came out. You know what I'm saying? They want to be and there's nothing wrong. And you have to do that. Yeah. If that's what you want, and it's a 1 in a billion chance, you have to do it.
Go for it. Yeah.
And then the only way you ever gonna be 1 in a billion is if you do the things, and dedicate yourself to it and take rejection 1,000 times. Yeah. So I'm not discouraging anybody from doing what they want to do. I just feel like most young kids, younger than y'all, bro, like the 13-year-olds now, bro, they want to be like YouTube.
Jay Paul and shit.
Yeah, because it's like, why not? And then I'll be.
They got no real life skills though. That's the only issue. But you do learn like some certain subsidies of skills, I guess you could call it, like little things that you, like, let's say if you are a YouTuber, you learn like editing and stuff like that. That could be helpful, you know.
And I think Jake Paul might be like an above average street fighter.
I mean, he's
you know what I'm saying? Because he be knocking out some old people and shit sometimes, but and some people who are not his weight. But he definitely shit. I wouldn't shoot a fair one with him at this point.
I wouldn't. For the paycheck, yeah.
Oh, for the paycheck,
Hell yeah.
But I'm saying for free.
Oh no,
free. I don't even got health insurance.
Yeah, you gonna get shot. Yeah, fuck that shit.
I'm a barber, bro. We ain't unionized yet.
No, I feel you, but I agree on that so much because like that's the way I'd like to look at social media in general. Is just I'm trying to build a brand on there. Obviously, apart from the podcast, I do my own thing on the side with like video editing and filmmaking and stuff like that.
That's a real skill, though.
Yeah, so I try to make sure that I'm not consuming, I'm producing instead of just being on the app all day, just scrolling. Mindless scrolling is what people call it.
A lot of people made money off TikTok, I know too, bro. I know a couple people out here at Danbury made some money off TikTok too. So I'm not, listen, if you're getting paid, do it. I'm not saying, but just make sure that it's currency that
we could use anywhere.
Not and that if you save it, you could put it somewhere. You know what I mean? It's not a fleeting dopamine hit.
I feel you. And now that's the thing that my fault to cut you off, but you were talking about the metaverse and shit like that. I don't agree with the metaverse, but I'm definitely gonna use that shit to make money. If you know what I'm saying.
Oh, 100%. I probably there'd probably be a Legends Barber Co where you could get a haircut for your avatar. I'm not. Don't think I'm missing out. You know what I mean?
That's a fact.
But I definitely wouldn't spend my time, on my. I remember somebody.
People buying
remember when NFTs was popping like not that long ago?
Yeah.
Okay. And I kind of saw that. Like I never invested in NFT, and I'm a crypto person. I was in. A lot of people in Danbury tell you I'm the first person to tell them about Bitcoin, bro. Okay, because I was, thank goodness, a very early investor in it. Like probably was buying coins at like under $2,000 for Bitcoin, and I remember Ethereum being $80. You know what I'm saying, and stuff like that. So I kind of caught that wave in like 2017 early, before that December hit where it went huge.
Yeah,
but I bring that up because NFTs always kind of seem to me. That's how I always thought. Like, and I like Elon Musk, but I always thought Tesla was overpriced last year and stuff like that. And so, like, I mean,
it dropped crazy recently.
Well, yeah, it's down 90% in the year.
Still, I tell people all the time, every time we talk on our financial segment, just buy right now.
Yeah, I'd buy. I actually did buy some.
Yeah, me too.
I'm not even gonna lie, I did buy some like a week ago.
Yeah.
But it could go down further in quarter. In 2023, bro, we're probably gonna get slaughtered in a couple more quarters. But eventually, it's got to turn around. If it doesn't, then money's no good anyway around here. Because truthfully, bro, that's what the stock market is an important part of the
economy.
Yeah, of the economy. So we're gonna be. Your money's not gonna be good anywhere anyway. If not,
that's what I'm saying.
So you might as well buy it. And you guys are young, man. I'm young. Like we have the opportunity right now. Like
taking it all over.
Yeah, we don't need it. You got earning potential. You could be making money through working for so many more years. Not like you're 70 years old about to retire, about to make a risky investment. That's a completely different thing, bro.
And it's better than being in a bank account doing nothing. You know.
But I remember the NFT metaverse shit. Like my boy. She was showing me a video. This guy bought a house next to Snoop Dogg for $495,000.
Yeah,
bro, that's a real. You could get like a dope
real
house. In Danbury.
Yeah,
a nice house, man. A nice single family. $495 all the day.
Or like buying these yachts. Like you could buy a real yacht. There were some people like spending millions of dollars on yachts that you could get on
they
the
got
metaverse.
So much money, man. Because they don't even mortgage those shit. So that was like real. That was straight up bread.
Yeah.
But you could have bought so many. But this is what happens. I think Justin Bieber lost a lot of money on that. Everybody
Logan Paul lost all that shit. He bought one. I think it was what was it? I forget which one it was exactly, but he bought it for like 900,000 or some shit like that, and that shit dropped to like maybe like $1,000 or some shit. I was like, God damn. I don't know if that's the real numbers, but he lost hella bread on just one picture.
It'll probably come back up. You know what I'm saying? But it'll probably never be 900,000.
I don't know. Fuck no.
You know what I'm saying? That was
because that's the thing. The way that shit works is like the only way you're gonna make money is if some dumb motherfucker stupid enough to buy it for more than you pay for it. That's just the way it works.
And bro, they never giving us stimuluses like that again.
Nah, I hope they don't. I mean, it's gonna fuck up the dollar even more. So
they're never gonna print out that many trillions of dollars again for us. Man, well, they might for them, but not for us.
Yeah. Have you heard of the new shit going on in China with Russia? The new currency they're trying to do, the gold. They're gonna try to back it on gold and shit.
Well, I called this was gonna happen. Yeah. So the whole thing is, bro, I think this stems from, and this is where the conversation might get a little crazy.
Let's get to it, bro.
Essentially, bro, like we're helping Ukraine, right? Russia doesn't like that. You know what I mean?
The sanctions and all that with Russia as well. They don't like that.
Yeah, and all the money, that's keeping them between us and the EU, that's keeping this war going, because the war would be over already if we didn't fund it.
Yep.
And so, well, what is Russia gonna do, right? So, like, if they nuke us, then we nuke them, and then nuclear winter, and the world is over. Yeah. So they don't really want to do that. I mean, that's still on the table.
It is. They always is an option.
It's always on the table, unfortunately. And I wish it wasn't. But not much we could do or think about that, because it's a waste of time. But basically, what's the way that they can hurt it? What's their way to get back at us? You know what I'm saying?
Well, the dollar.
And the dollar's weak, and the oil, and if they start pegging oil to another currency, and they get a currency,
they've already in talks with that.
And you guys understand that the U.S. dollar for most of the country's history was back to gold until the
70s, I believe.
Yeah, exactly. You guys know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the night, like everything else, bro, like they were like, oh, infrastructure and military and everything else like that. But are we selling it? Like, when are you gonna sell the Verrazano Bridge? I don't even know if it's called that anymore, bro. Like you know what I'm saying? The Tappan Zee, or no, it's not called that. The Cuomo Bridge, like, you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna
Which
sell.
bridge is that?
It goes from Rockland County, New York to New Jersey.
Okay.
But any George Washington Bridge. You're gonna sell the George Washington Bridge to who?
Nobody.
And maybe China will buy it, but then is that a good position for us to be in? They own that bridge. Like, I mean, you really can't sell like that. That's not real. I mean, yeah, it's real. It's there, but it's not actually. You're not able to liquidate it in the same way you are precious metals and stuff like that. So we should have never. And that's why I was such a firm believer, and still am actually, in Bitcoin, just because of the finiteness of it, and the fact that there can never be more than 21 million. And that value is perception. A lot of people tell me, Pat, like, it only means something because people think it means something. It's like, well, you know that's what our money in the bank is.
That's what it is. That's what the
because
dollar
what is it backed by?
By nothing. Our military.
You know what I'm saying?
Our
military, bro. But like, what does that mean?
We could fight people. But,
I mean, yeah.
I was having a conversation with Chris about that. I was like, we were talking about that, and I just told him, I was like, bro, he was talking about how we have too much military firepower and stuff, and I was like, yeah, but what are we gonna do? Start another war?
Well, that's the thing. So like, and I have this conversation a lot too, and I have a lot of people I love and care about. My brother's a Marine for like 20 years, and like two of my best friends in the military, like career, and actually one of my buddies just got out after 14 years. But basically, bro, like, so I'm very pro-military and stuff like that.
But they don't give a fuck.
Well, yeah,
the military doesn't care about you, bro.
No, and another thing is, more importantly, actually, is that like, at the end of the day, we've meddled in so many global affairs
for no reason.
Yo, bro, like, if I got a lot of beef, bro, right, and people in Danbury, I've done a lot of people dirty.
They're gonna team up.
You telling me I shouldn't have security? You telling me that I shouldn't have bulletproof my glass? Because at this point, the moment we weaken our security, you know what I'm saying? They come, yo, bro, it's over for us, bro. Yeah. So now we've put ourselves in a position where, as a superpower who's influenced through coups in other countries and stuff like that, I don't know if it's going on YouTube, but like, you know what I mean? Like, done a lot of things, as we've all seen with our own eyes. There's plenty of people who haven't forgotten, and they've been affected over there. Yeah, basically, what I was getting at, long story short, is that if you throwing yourself into the mix of all this stuff, bro, like, we don't have the privilege or the luxury of being able to lower down our defenses. Yeah. And yeah, people will tell you, whoa, we don't need to spend this much, you know, but we don't also need to spend that much on, you know, giving it to foreign aid either. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, especially when people, this makes me the most mad, bro. Like Flint and Jackson, they don't have clean water, man. Well, the amount of homeless people, the mental health problems.
California's crazy.
California, man. How many people are just strung out, and we got no. And it's like, it's one thing, because I am somebody who believes in you reap what you sow. But there's also a side of me that says, well, all this money is being directed towards things that I don't think are important. You know, and that's not what's talking about.
You're not alone in that, bro.
They always just want to tax us more to fund, to pretend that they want to fund these things, but it never goes to it, man. No. You know, because those problems are on purpose, because it creates an opportunity for the elite. I'm gonna tell a quick story, bro. Okay, and I like this story because it translates to exactly what we're talking about. Okay, So like there's this story about like this barber. And he always used to be like, yo, look how dumb this kid is. Watch this, watch this.
Oh, the dollar?
The dollar.
Yeah,
you heard about the story?
I heard it.
So I'll just tell him for the viewers real quick,
go ahead,
bro.
Go ahead.
Basically, the story with the dollar is that he always has in one hand 50 cents and one hand $1. And he tells the kid to come over, and the kid always takes the 50 cents. And then him and his boys laugh, and they all joke. Look at this dumbass kid. He always taking the 50 cents, you know? So one day, this dude just got done finished getting his haircut, was outside. So the kid, he said, hey, kid, come here. He said, man, why you always take 50 cents, not the dollar? He said, because as soon as I take the dollar, the game is over.
That's a fact.
And so essentially how that transcends to what we were just talking about, as soon as they fix the problems,
it's over.
Yo, and obviously it's never going to be perfect.
They can't justify taxing us for bullshit.
And they can't also get that vote anymore. You know what I mean? Like if they actually went out and made good on their promises, then the perpetual problem, you know, and I think that's like that in the medical. The
medical field is fucked.
In medical field, like if they want to keep us sick and symptom free rather than cure the illness, you know, and that we've just thrown away anything holistic, any Eastern medicine. And some of it might be pseudo, but a lot of it probably works, bro. Yeah. And we're just told that, nah, take an Advil, bro. And that's just horrible for you. You know what I mean? So
I feel you. But I wanted to talk about the currency and stuff like that because, I mean, for the people that don't know out there, but it's on record that the amount of gold that China has purchased has raised eyebrows, I guess, even as the trend remains under the radar and for the mainstream media. I'm reading this off of Fox Business. So it said that China hit a 5-year high with Beijing in July alone receiving 80.1 tons of gold value at over $4.6 billion. And that's more than double the 32.5 tons that was brought in June, which is kind of crazy if you think about it. So they have a lot of gold. They're getting ready for this. This is just something that's gonna, I guess, happen. But do you know who are their alliances? Have you heard of BRICS or no?
Oh yeah, so like
BRICS has Brazil, Russia, India, South Africa, and China. Obviously, that's the 5. And I believe there's a couple more that are trying to apply to get in, which is I believe Egypt, Saudi. That's the I believe it's Saudi. Yeah, they've been in talks to basically get all the oil money, change it from dollars into this new currency. I believe they struck a deal that was worth a couple $1 trillion with China, which is just going to mess shit up because if you think about it now, they already have everything that's being produced in China. Think about that. They're getting most of their oil from Russia and India, and they're all working together. So this is going to become like some crazy shit in the future. So I just want people out there to do your own research. Don't take everything that I say literal because like I say, I'd rather people do their own research. And what I'm doing is just doing my research and I'm giving the information to them. But it's something that people got to be aware of because a lot of people don't think about this.
So I think from what I took from that too, and what I've been doing, is I stay investing in gold. So go to jmbullion.com, where there's an app called JM Bullion, and I've worked with them. I've sold gold back to them, and I think that they're just the best, and I know that they're good. So you should invest in precious metals like silver and gold, and have that too, diversify your portfolio over time. And if that's the plan, bro, like listen. I have plenty of confidence that gold will go up. If that's
so no, they've already talked about it's gonna double.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
But unfortunate for Western society, essentially, because what we've done in Europe and in America, and North America, is we've gone in full. And I'm just gonna say the truth, man.
Go ahead, bro.
We've gone full dive into this climate change
bullshit. Yeah, the left side.
That is not that is not sold science. Right? Anytime someone tells you science is sold, they're not a scientist. Okay?
That's a fact.
And I've heard plenty of arguments against carbon being not a contributor, and that actually that climate obviously is always going to change. And there's people who have agendas based on control, bro, with climate.
Yeah.
Same way we saw with COVID. But I think that it's important to remember that the reason we put ourselves in this position, we have so much oil underneath our feet, bro. You have no idea in Alaska. If we have enough oil, man, that we would never, our kids, bro, would never have to worry.
Yeah.
It could be the cheapest thing. I'm filling up tomorrow, a $4 a gallon or $300 gallon tank, well, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
That only lasts me a month.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? Plus, I got my Eversource bill, which just went up again because they wanted the same guy, I guess. But at the end of the day, like all this, they put us in a position where we're 40 years away from being able to get off of fossil fuel. If that's even a thing we should be doing, I'm not sold.
Because we see,
I would love to see somebody come along. And, I meet a lot of college-educated kids who tell me the same thing, but when I get to a certain part of the conversation with them, they get frustrated and when they walk away. They don't.
The electric vehicles.
Well, how about we can talk about electric vehicles?
Well, that's just even worse for the environment. Yeah. I thought that's where you were going.
No, well, we just bought Tesla stock, but
yeah. Shit, we gonna make money off it. We had to. Yeah.
Okay. So I saw something along the lines. Obviously, it's not continuing to make emissions. But okay, where does people think electricity comes from? They burn coal, which is one of the worst things for the environment. Apparently, if you believe that CO2 makes all these things happen. Also, I think a lot of the CO2 that they have a problem with is us breathing. They don't like the size of our population.
Oh yeah, population control is crazy. Have you heard the Bill Clinton, or not the Bill Clinton, the Bill and Melinda Gates, I forgot the name of the actual organization, but they talk about depopulation all the time.
It's called the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation.
Yeah, then some bullshit, bro. How the fuck you gonna talk about just depopulating people?
Well, they had the Georgia Guidestones that mysteriously this last year were blown up, but they said that you have to get the population back to 500 million, whereas like 8 billion or something like that. But bro, like basically from the time that they mine the lithium and then the actual literal, and I do not use this word ever lightly, slavery that is happening in Africa with children to mine this lithium. I mean, this is what Greta Thunberg wants. Like, this is really, this is the new future. This is the virtuous future. I don't think so, man. And then you got, the lithium mining. I encourage anybody who's just listening for the first time and never thought about these things to go just Google image what a lithium mine looks like. Also, the disposal of these batteries, and then also the affordability. Let's be honest, like outside of even how unpractical all this is, and then like in California they have rolling blackouts and these long lines for Tesla things, and you can't charge your car, and then it might take a long time to charge your car. Have you seen how much a replacement battery is in like a Chevy Volt or whatever them shits are? Like it's like $29,000 for a new battery. Yeah. $26,000 for a new battery, bro. That's a new whip.
Hell yeah.
And like so they know that, and they just don't want us to drive. They don't want us to drive. The
amount of control that they have over you too once you get into a fully electric.
Yeah, exactly. So thank you, man. That was my next statement was that more than anything, I think it happened in Switzerland already, which I think if you look at Switzerland as a country alone, is an interesting place, bro. There's a lot of things you could find out about Switzerland the deeper you dive into the rabbit hole of Switzerland. But and all the meetings they have there and all types of stuff that happens. But basically, they went about it in a way where with this war in Ukraine affecting everything, they didn't want people to charge their vehicles, man. They was telling people, and there's like an initiative I think, that I've heard multiple times about in Germany about like not heating your home, and it's the winter, bro, in Germany, which is not, the tropics. You know what I'm saying? So like and do you think any of the people that are in the position that are creating this narrative or this law, and there are people in the media,
about that shit,
they're in their apartment. I'll tell you right now, I know where they are. They're in their apartment in San Francisco and New York City, and they have the heat at 90, and they don't care. Okay, and they're lying to you, bro. And they're doing this to
have fun. They're just bored.
I don't know if it's that, man. I don't really know. Actually, I'd be only speculating if I told you what I think their motives are. But I know that they're not in your best interest.
Oh, never.
You know what I mean? So, and I think
it's always for them.
Yeah, I think we've all learned that, and I think that that's an important part of why I've made a lot of these changes, and that I go to the gym and I drink water and I read the Bible and I try to be free, right, from all the things that control me, because there needs to be a generation of good men that are doing these things to stand up against it. Otherwise, we're all just going to get in line and we're going to do what they say. And
that's why we started this podcast. Because we see things like that. we see things like that, and we're like, okay, we're seeing how pussified the men of this day are becoming.
100%.
And
man.
I'm not saying, I'm like the strongest, will-minded man in the world, but I've had good examples of good men in my life, and I feel like that's just the way that we're supposed to be, and nothing in the world could change my mind about that.
I agree with you 100%. Bro.
I just like, bro, we've since the beginning, like, y'all know you could talk about this too, but it's just, you gotta be hard out here. Life is hard. The world is hard. Shit is difficult. But
and you're a man, which
you got
and a lot of women these days would tell us that means we have male privilege and stuff like that.
Bullshit. What privilege?
But, well, there are privileges. I'm not gonna lie, there are privileges. Just like there's female privileges.
No,
like,
but they have way more. If you talk about, especially like in court wise, like in terms of custody and all that stuff. Like,
of course. Forget that. Yeah, no, of course. When it comes to the rules, 100%. But I just mean like, we've been blessed or gifted with certain things, right? And okay, so here's my point. Not to like compare it, right? Because I think both of them bring something different to the table, and that it's essential yin and yang.
In terms of men and women.
Yeah, men and women.
Yeah,
but
there's blue jobs and there's red jobs, or blue jobs and pink jobs. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, exactly. And there's a lot of. There's a lot of benefits. I'm not gonna lie. I think there's benefits to being a man. I like being a man.
I like being a man too.
I wouldn't want to be anything else. I'm very happy I'm a man.
Mm-hmm.
But like even let's just even look at the biological aspect of like that we don't have to have a period or give childbirth and stuff like that. Like that's a blessing not to carry that burden. And I appreciate women that they go through that so that we can continue this beautiful thing called life and create families and do stuff like that. And I've seen birth a couple times and it's rough. Bro.
Yeah.
But so all credit due, and what a woman does in the home and stuff like that. And even when they want in their workplace and stuff like that. I think it's all positive, because having a family is not for everybody. And I commend. There's plenty of women who can do so many things. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't consider myself like the new feminist movement, like of I think what we're alluding to here. But I have a daughter, bro. And I have a son. I look at them both the same but different. But I would say that there's been a emasculation of women and a feminization of men.
Yeah, that's
and
a fact.
that they want us confused and they don't want us to know what our true purpose is. Again, because the last institution that they do not control, because they're in academics. They're in the they're in the health. They're in the pharmaceutical. They're definitely in the media, right?
They got media, tech,
Hollywood, all that kind of stuff. The images through Netflix that we see and everything. So what the last thing that they cannot control, they're even in the churches, bro. The last thing they can't control is the family, the nuclear family. And if they can break down what a family is, what a family means, and normalize the government being the father, basically, normalize a man and a woman not having children and not staying together. I mean, that is like more common
that destroys now. People.
It's rare now that people stay together no matter what. You know what I mean? And I think, and I said it in the last podcast, and I say it again, like that is the most important. That is literally our survival depends on it. The Western survival depends on it. And you know what? It isn't worldwide because you go to plenty other countries, bro. That shit is sound and firm, and the government promotes it.
With that. They
actually promote. They incentivize it, and here they incentivize the exact opposite.
That goes to show though, like there's something dark happening in the background.
100%.
And we've been talking about this whole episode, but we just gotta make it clear. It's just like you go to, for example, I'm from DR. You go to DR, you see these families that are old people that have been married for like 70 years and shit like that, and you come here, it's like you don't hear shit like that. You feel, I've been divorced 7 times. Like
it's unfortunately,
and the only thing that it affects is the kids, bro. That's the worst part about it.
That's who's the real victim of it, and it's because having kids is the most selfless act you can do, and that's and I gotta say it, bro. Like, but that's like the relationship with God, right? It's like we're His children, right? And the most selfless thing like a father can do, right, is let his and also let his children,
have children,
but also make mistakes, have free will.
Oh, okay.
You know what I'm trying to say? So like, there's so many aspects of having a child that a lot of people. And then what happens is, bro, people have children with the wrong woman or with the wrong man. Yeah. And then it quickly dissipates, and then that child is also then used in a way that's malicious.
Yeah.
Like and then or the woman or the man, it's usually, unfortunately, because of the situation, I have to point at a woman in this, because they're usually the one who are granted custody, as we just spoke about. They make it so difficult sometimes.
Yeah, for the man to even see his kids. Yeah.
That the man gives up. And anybody going through that, never give up on your kid, man, because you never know. I'm sure there's plenty of people out there who are in that position, and the child is not that woman. Yeah, they are two different people.
That's a fact. You know? Especially if they're old enough to understand what's going on.
And even if they planted evil seeds in their head now, there will be a time where your day will come. The cream always rises to the top. And if your side of the street is clean, then it will show itself. The truth always will
that's raw, bro. Oh yeah.
You know?
And I mean, do your own research. See how see the percentages or the statistics when it comes to having single parent homes and stuff like that. You could do your
7 times
look
more
at Google it and stuff. Yeah, just
all that stuff.
Having both parents in the house just gives the child so many more benefits that it's important that we keep that going, you know. And we've talked about this a lot, because like we believe family is just the most important thing. I believe that having children is like the purpose of us being on earth. Like what else is what are we here for other than to have children?
Great. And this is why they want to interject themselves in the academics. Is such a this is, and it's come up a couple times, bro.
Yeah.
But this is their number one reasoning, bro. Why now?
Yeah.
Is this such an important thing, right? To interject all these new ideas and concepts, right, in academics, when it's not anything.
It has nothing to do with it.
Nothing to do with it, bro. Nothing. And it has, and truthfully, it has a lot to do with that they want, and even, bro, if you go to Disney and all these other things, bro.
All these weird shit, like, and even in the channels and the shows, there's always some.
It's
some
a lot of them.
shit
A lot of them, they're trying to put, like, distrust, yes, programming. And even my son the other day, he saw a commercial on Nickelodeon. He said, I don't like that. That's teaching Bella the wrong thing. And his little sister. And it was like just a girl who was like, I don't care who tells me what to do. I do what I want. It was like a commercial. And she kept saying it over and over again. And then it was like a commercial for nothing. And then it just went to the next thing. And it's just like as simple as that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is the point of that commercial?
Yeah. That goes back to, I remember when you said words are powerful. Yeah. Little things like that, little kids will keep in their mind and
it's in the subconscious. Yeah, it's crazy, bro. But like we said, there's so much evil going on, and then they control all of it. So like, what can you really do? The only thing that you really have control over is what you can do in the household, right? Because if you got your kids and they're all day on an iPad, or they're all day in school getting indoctrinated in a way, then they come home and then all they see is what the media wants them to see. It's kind of difficult to raise a child now. And you having kids, I know you could probably talk more about this than I can, because I don't have kids, but just seeing it from family members, and I have younger siblings as well, so I get to see what they pay attention to, and I'm like, though, stop watching that. Like feed your mind with something that's going to be positive instead of just watching mindless stuff. That.
But you know what pisses me off the most about it is that, again, who suffers the most? Who do they continue to target? The people of a socioeconomic position that they can't do private school, okay, or that they have two parents working so they cannot do homeschool. And homeschools are huge, even if you have one person at home. You know, like, you know how hard it is to cook 3 meals, clean up, do all that laundry, and then try to be their teacher. Like, you know, like, we didn't necessarily know, you know, like that. You couldn't predict that 10 years ago that would be the position. We relied on that our taxes were going to go to a sound environment for our kids to be educated, as they were, fortunately, when I was growing up, you know. But I think that it's been a slow and methodical process since post-World War II, man, that they've been doing that academically. And this is why you see so many people who promote in college, mad college kids think socialism and communism is great, and they have no idea. I mean, who paid for their college, bro? Their parents. Bro, and it's out of control to me that they even like anybody. I'd love to have a conversation with somebody on a podcast where they think that Karl Marx is a sane person. I would love for them to come on a conversation with me, bro, and I will defend their ideology against me, because this is something I've spent countless hours on, and I am vehemently opposed to communism in every form, because truthfully, the main ingredients leaving out is that
They control everything.
Well, is that exactly? Is that it's still a two-part? It's still rich people and poor people, except now everybody's poor and the government is rich. Okay, and then you'd have to rely on somebody. Paper. Well, you'd have to rely on somebody not to be corrupt. And there's not an institution.
There's not a government
outside of the family.
Yeah, that's not corrupt.
That's not corrupt.
Yeah,
and even families are corrupted, obviously. But you at least, that's the only thing all we can control is ourselves, right? Yeah. So we can't rely on people to have our best interest.
Yeah, and that's important. That's why we always talk about like becoming financially free. That's something that I'm not gonna sit here and try to lie or anything like that. I'm not financially free yet, and right now, right? I have my investments, I have my portfolios. I would say that I'm well above the curve by age range, and I've actually looked it up and stuff like that. But that's besides the point. What I'm trying to say is basically become financially free so you can have those opportunities to give your kids that homeschooling that they need, even if it's just you finding somebody who you could like, you know, screen and make sure that you can trust to have them actually teach your children if you don't want your wife to do that. But even just keeping your wife at home while you're out there working, you know, that's what I believe in. I believe in actually like building something. That's why we work on the podcast, and I'm building my own company on the side as well. So I'm like working so hard against that or working towards that because I want my wife to be home, to be able to teach my children what I want, or like not what I want, but my beliefs, you know, because I obviously chose her.
Because those are your children.
That's what I'm saying.
And then, and honestly, bro, I think
that's the only thing that's truly yours in this world.
You know what I mean? And honestly, they're gonna take it and do what they want with it anyway, right? Because you can.
The moment you're born, they're already making money off you.
I've seen kids grow up with bad parents be great people, and kids with great parents be bad people. You know, so like, but so there is a factor of environmental and luck and genetics, right? But that environmental really starts in the home, bro. And I think that. First of all, I think y'all are mad dope. I'm really happy we had this conversation, bro, because I'm so happy to see.
This is not gonna be the only one, bro.
Yeah, I like that, man. I didn't know that it was gonna. I didn't know what to expect, really, bro. Because I've had very light conversation with you at the barbershop, like not knowing anything too deep, and just kind of like where both of you are in your life at the age that you're in, and the discipline and the mentality you guys have. If you never change and you continue and you just stack days, okay? Because now the only ingredient you guys, you have everything. You guys know about money? You guys know about you have a good worldview. You guys know kind of where your priorities are important, and you have discipline, and you care about your health and your mind, and ultimately you're seeking freedom. All you have to do now is consistency over time, which we can't do for you, and we can't fast forward. It's just gonna compound over time of continuous determination. But I'm gonna applaud you guys for where you are right now. And then I could promise you that if we come back in 2028, okay, 5 years from today, yo, you're going to love where you are. And you're going to want more then. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, as long as, you know, the ingredients you have right now, bro, you're baking a fat cake, bro. It's going to be nice. You know what I'm saying? I like it.
Appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
You know?
Man.
Nah, that just warmed up my heart, bro.
Yeah, but thank yourself. But for real, thank yourself, bro. And thank God, bro. But thank yourself most importantly, because you guys are in a position that I wish. I mean, look at, you know, humbly, right? I'm here. We're having a conversation about some of my accomplishments. And I, at your age, was in where I was. You know what I'm saying? So imagine how much farther ahead of me you could be, knowing what you know now, and keep continuing to do this. This is amazing, man. Just continuing going to the gym, continuing to strive for better. You know?
I'm actually going to the gym right after this.
That's great, man. I went earlier, man. I can't do 2 a days yet. I'm not there, but I'm gonna get there.
I got you.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. And even excuse me, even just continuing your podcast and continuing having these important conversations. Okay, I did not know how tonight was gonna go, but honestly, this in the little things that even you read that, you know, and being mindful of global affairs and how that affects things at home and stuff like that, bro. You guys are mature way beyond your age. I'm very impressed, bro. That's all.
Thank you.
And I feel like I needed to say that.
And I mean, I would say that came from having good parents, you know, like I've gotten a lot of my beliefs and stuff and the discipline for sure. And just learning how to just work and put my head down just from my father. So I thank him for everything. And obviously my mom had a very important role in that. And I would never take anything away from either or. So I would say, like you said, the nucleus of the family, that's the most important.
It really is, man. And having friends like each other.
That's right.
And surrounding yourself by like-minded people. you know, and not wasting your time with dudes who are and you know, hopefully you stay solid. It doesn't mean we turn away or we're better than anybody either.
Never.
I'm not better than anybody in this world, and I'm not worse than anybody.
No, we all shit and bleed, bro.
We all shit and bleed. We all make mistakes. You feel me?
That's a fact.
And you never know who someone gonna be. I like another saying. Somebody said to me one time. They said, "Be careful of the backs you step on, because they could be connected to the asses you kiss later."
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That's tough.
And it's true, because there's
sense.
been people look at me, man. There's plenty of people shit on me, man. And plenty of people probably still don't think I'm gonna do this or do it. And that shit fuels me, bro.
Yeah, me too, bro.
You know what I mean? I love when you doubt me. I'm like Tom Brady. I do my best work when they think I'm done.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact,
That's
bro.
my, you know, and then that fuels me actually. And one of the dangerous things for me is complacency that way. You know, feeling like, oh, okay, I've done enough.
Yeah.
I'm good
No, I
now.
have an issue with that. I don't know. I can't sit down. Like,
That's
I don't know
good,
if you
man.
feel like that too. 'Cause, like, if I sit down for too long, I'm like, I got to get up and do something. I don't know if
be
that's maybe
productive.
something's
Be
going on.
productive.
Yeah, but I always have to be doing something.
I would encourage you one day a week though to rest.
Yeah,
You know what
that's
I'm
what I
saying?
try. Yeah, the
one
girl
day a
I'm
week
talking
just
to has been
unplug.
pushing that on me a lot too. Is like,
Yeah.
take like at least a couple hours just to sit down. I'm just like, I can't, you know, because I'm usually like over there editing something or like doing some research.
It'll be
investing.
there.
So
It'll
I'm
be
just
there.
like, God damn, I got to keep going. But like, I try to sit down, and then honestly, remember when I had the thing with my foot? So I was playing basketball once, and I like fell on top of somebody, and I almost tore a ligament. So I had to sit out for like a couple months, where I couldn't do
That's
anything.
why their fighter started inside of you, right? That's when you like.
So no, but
Wait.
that like taught me to like sit down. Like, you know, like I think I don't know. We always say that, you know, everything happens for a reason, right?
100%.
I sat down, and honestly, I got depressed when that happened. So I broke my foot, couldn't walk. I was like, just look. I remember I was upstairs in the bathroom, and I was just looking at my foot, like so depressed, like down, like I was at my lowest point, I guess, for that part of my life. It was just a little speck part of my life. Yeah,
You were me when they shut the barbershop down.
yeah, yeah. Basically that. So I was just like,
I need to go on the court.
and I believe that's when I got closer to God, because I actually got to like sit down. I was like, okay, so I think He put this in my life, not in a bad way, but He put me breaking my foot in front of me so that I understand, like, you're going 3,000 miles an hour, like, slow down.
You guys know
you could take down the amount of effort that you put into some things, and sometimes just rest for a little bit, you know? So I thank Him for that, honestly speaking, because if that wouldn't have happened, bro, I honestly, at one point I thought I had something wrong with my head. Like, I really couldn't sit down.
Yeah, no, it is good, bro. And eventually, I think too, like, it comes with like, yo, I'm just learning that now, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like, it comes with like a certain maturity of like of your growth, right? And you guys know who Inky Johnson is?
Inky Johnson.
He was like, so he's like a motivational speaker now, but he was like 5 games away. He already was like gonna be projected to be drafted in the NFL, like top
the one
30.
with the arm,
paralyzed arm.
Yeah. I
And
know.
he
I've seen him.
He's playing a
I've seen him.
useless game against Army, and you know didn't even need to be in the game.
Yeah.
I mean, was guaranteed all these millions of dollars, and then you know regular tackle felt fine, like you know what I'm saying. And then all of a sudden they told him he's gonna die. He had to go into surgery, and then yo, bro, had to sit. Then he missed out on the bread. You know what I'm saying? And then one day he decided he's gonna. I guess the story went something along the lines like he had wrote a book, and then he was gonna give it to Oprah. And then he drove from Atlanta to Chicago, and everybody thought he was crazy. And then he got rejected at every door. And then at one moment, he just saw Oprah, and she came up and was like, you know, like, oh, I like your jacket or whatever. And he was like, oh, I actually drove here. Like, thank you. I actually drove here to give you this book.
That's crazy. I didn't even heard that part.
Yeah. And so, you know, like, she's like, okay, thank you, whatever. And I got to go now. I got to go do my set. So she left. And well, the crazy part about that whole story is that he was about to leave, and the security guard said, "Yo, my man, like, come back." And he ran back a couple steps, and he was like, "Yo, I don't know what's gonna come of it, like book club, anything like that. I don't know if anything's gonna come of it. But I have to tell you, I've been her security guard. That never happens.
Yeah.
What just happened never happens, and something." I mean, God put him in all these positions. You know what I'm saying? If you ask him, that's not even my word. That to lose his arm, to do it, you know what I'm saying? To have this feeling, this strength, this belief, this faith that was unbreakable. I'm gonna give this book to Oprah. I mean, how ridiculous is that?
He drove that far,
and then he got
it. Yeah,
and he almost looked like he wasn't gonna. You know, he almost had a conversation before all that I left out where he was like, "Man, my girl's gonna be tight."
Yeah,
like, I fucking just drove to Chicago, man, from Atlanta. Like that was dumb.
Yeah.
And then boom, everything.
I'm actually look
fell
more into
place.
that. That's
yeah, man.
very
And now, I mean,
into.
I'm sure he's got more money than he would ever made in the NFL.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying, from whatever. But that's the side. That's a second blessing. It's the fact that wasn't what it was meant for him. You know what I'm saying? And that he thought he was gonna be a coach or whatever, but now he speaks. You know, and like, bro,
he does war tours and shit like that.
Yeah, and I just feel like sometimes the worst thing in our lives, you know, end up in the moment,
biggest blessing.
end up being the biggest blessing because they're for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I mean, yo, tell them about what happened to you the past 2 weeks, bro.
Oh,
yeah. So I gave him a little bit of advice, but I wanted to give you the full story.
Well, yeah. So the last, well, not the last 2 weeks, before the year ended, the last 2 weeks of last year, a bunch of things happened. I mean, one of my, I lost my grandma, my car, and the other car.
His brother got into an accident.
My brother got into an accident. A bunch of things happened all at once. And
all around
like,
Christmas.
Wow. Yeah, right before Christmas. And I was saying like, yo, like, there was a time that we didn't miss a week. We just filmed it after.
The episode came out a little late.
Yeah.
I believe it was the same week that we did the one with Vic.
But yeah. So, anyways, I was telling him, I was like, bro, like, I have all these things happening to me. And I'm also thankful for Lewis because, man, Lewis
I'm
is...
thankful for you too, bro.
But he was like, you know what that means, right? I said, what you mean? He's like, bro, something great is about to happen to you. Because you're going through all these things, but believe that something great is going to happen to you. And, man, those are words that, you know, mean a lot to me. It motivates me because it's like you will see what was the whole reason of all this happening to you. Like you will see the process. You experience it right now, and then you're gonna end up and look back and be like, wow, now I understand why all these things happen.
Yeah, sometimes it could just be to learn how to tolerate. I mean, a lot of those things are life. You know, unfortunately, bro, 10 out of 10 people die. Unfortunately, you know what I'm saying? And with much compassion, because I know you lost your grandmother, and I don't mean that in a way. But I've lost a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes, especially in the conversation of death, a lot of people always like, yo, Pat. But you know what it is with me is that
it's a way of life, bro. I've never had like a difficulty talking about it. I just really understood like it's gonna happen.
Oh, and it's always gonna hurt. It's always gonna hurt, and especially when they're close to us and their family. But and I also look at death differently than I used to. You know, I used to think that was it. Now I don't. You know what I'm saying? But so I'm a less afraid to die, but I'm not ready. That's
a good quote. I'm not gonna lie.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna have to steal that.
Go ahead. And then the car, you know, your car gonna break. You know, hopefully that don't happen to me on the way back. Me saying all that shit, but like you know, yeah. But at the end of the day, you kind of start to learn how to weather the storm. I guess. I mean, God gives us these storms to weather them. You know what I'm saying? And then like you just get more. You get in that cold shower. You know what I'm saying? You just kind of you go through it, and then when you get out, you know what I love about taking cold showers, man? That when you take a hot shower. Getting out sucks. It's like, oh, it's cold in here. Let me get my towel. Oh, I gotta hurry. Oh, you know
that is true.
I want a rug on the floor. But when you turn off a cold shower, you never felt the bathroom that warm in your life. You don't even need a towel.
No.
You start walking around.
That's a fact.
You're like, oh, I
and
feel
you
so
never
much better.
feel like, but it's like when you do a heavy leg day or some shit like that, and you can't walk the next day. You feel so good after you finish it.
Exactly.
I love cold showers. Bro.
Oh, I know. I've been doing serious cardio over there. Serious, and because you know why I like it, because running sucks, and so does cycling, even if you do it long enough. You know, like at least 10 miles or whatever, and like that burn, that whole thing, the sweating, the I want to get off, and then you don't, and it's 10 minutes since you wanted to get off, like all that shit is like, bro, that translates into like real life. And you're
building character.
You're building character. You're building your will. You know, it's getting those are the muscles people can't see, but they're actually the most important ones. You know what I'm saying? They're the most important ones.
Yeah. Well, now I'm not gonna lie, it might be my favorite podcast. And it's the first podcast of the year, bro. Just the conversation is, and I know we're gonna keep talking like even after the podcast is over and all that stuff. But we haven't even talked what we wanted to talk about on the episode, and this episode has been amazing, bro. Not even cap.
But the best time is when you I didn't know what I was gonna do. I didn't even know what I was walking into. I'm a freestyle, bro.
Well, that's the funny part. We had a whole podcast plan, and pretty much what we didn't even talk about. We didn't.
I mean, we can bring it up, bro. Just might as well end it off on a good note. You know what I'm saying?
I wanted to ask you something.
Go ahead.
You so like you said, you have a daughter and your son and your wife.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of us, like we said, neither of us are child. But I do want to ask you, because I don't want to give, like I'm not expecting the kid, none of that. But I do want to become a parent, like at a young age, because I mean I said it before. I want to experience. My dad is not. I wouldn't say very old, but I never got to experience
a young dad.
A young dad. So I do want to give.
My father had me at 41, and I had my son at 25. So it's a different experience.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
you know, that's the same age that he wants to have his kid.
I want to have my kid at 25.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, God willing, if it's meant to be.
Well,
you know
that also.
And the most important thing is who you're having your child with.
No, he has a good girl.
Which I'm glad, and that your values align. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I don't know you, bro. I just have to say it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because you don't even realize certain things come up after you already had the kid.
Yeah.
Like, then you never even thought about. And you're like, oh, well, this is actually really important to me now. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you didn't even realize that.
I've heard that from a lot of people.
One of the things that we emphasize a lot is like people, oh yeah, I have a kid when I'm 35. Oh yeah, when maybe after I graduate college.
That's a psyop. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So I wanted to, because I'm pretty sure you agree with having a kid at a young age, right?
I mean, on an individual basis. Yeah, of course.
So
I think for you, you seem mature. I mean, we just met each other, but like, you know what I'm saying? I think that
I wanted to ask for, some, because like I said, I do want to get married at 25, but like I said, it's selfish. I was talking to my girl too. It's selfish for me just to be like, yeah, 25. But what if she wants to do it earlier, or what if she wants to do it later?
Well, this is a good
conversation.
Question, and that's a good conversation to have because parenting and relationships and living together. Do you guys live together?
No.
Okay, so let's do that first. Okay, and I know traditionally, right? You want to get married first.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's fine. That's cool by me too. I'm just saying that when you share bills, so same thing with like how we were talking about like, oh, after you have a kid, like this comes up. Oh, I didn't even think about this. Well, there's also the life experience of living under the same roof even before having children. That a lot of things come up that you're like, oh wow, like we spent all the time together, but I didn't realize that like when we can't leave one another, and then we don't have that break. You know, and that she might not, you know what I'm saying, be cool with doing a podcast at the crib. Who knows? I'm not saying that's the case, but like,
my girl, in the beginning, she didn't understand the whole process. I mean, I said it before too. Me and Louis would be here for hours. Like I would come here at 8 and leave at what, like.
Bro, you come here at like 6 in the afternoon, bro. I don't know, talking about 8. Like right after you got off of work, and you'll leave at like almost 2 in the morning.
Yeah,
so planning stuff, putting stuff together.
It was a lot of nights that my girlfriend called me out. Yo, like.
She'll be thinking he's like out cheating or something.
Yeah, that's understandable because it's like, who is he doing?
I told her,
we lose time for 6 hours talking to this guy, this barber. What the fuck is really going on?
Yeah, she was having some suspicions.
I told her that I was like, just give me a time. Like, I promise you, after a year, 6 months, this talk will be way shorter. It could even be through the phone and.
No, we've actually evolved in just the process of just getting everything ready.
We do it through the phone, through text, stuff like that.
Well, you learn. And the same thing in a relationship and same thing with children and all that. But I guess your question, right, would be like, well, what if she wants? Well, I think, and I'm so glad this ties in all together because it kind of comes with the quote that I wanted to say. But y'all know who Jordan Peterson is?
Yeah.
Of course.
Okay, cool, man. Yeah. So he has a 3, I listen to him a lot, and he's influenced me in a lot of ways.
Yeah, me too.
So I think he's gets a bad rap for being a pretty brilliant man, and obviously not everything I agree with. There's no person on earth
Nobody's
that
perfect.
I agree with 100%. I'm not
yeah.
co-signing anybody 1,000%. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of most of what he says, I've taken a lot from. And he had a 3-part series that was only like 20 something minutes long about marriage. Okay, and because I'm a family man, and I don't know everything. Marriage is like. It's like anything else, man.
You're curious. You want to learn.
Well, of course. And it's also like, I don't know how to explain this in the right way.
Ever-evolving?
It's ever-evolving, okay? It's ever-evolving, and that's the beauty of being with one person and monogamy. Is that, it has its trials and tribulations, but obviously a lot of that's going to bring you closer. But it's also ever-evolving because things happen. I mean, what happens when your partner gets sick? you didn't sign up for that originally. What happens when? There she is. She's like, yo, this could be
too long.
Ain't no way. Yeah, he talked about the haircuts. What's next?
Yeah. And he's texting it
too. You finished filming?
I'm just not even looking at my phone, man.
Yeah.
But so long story short, bro, I'll wrap it up. But basically, like, he was talking about how it's a negotiation. That, like, everything's a negotiation, and that he even had like all these like pieces of art, and then like when they moved or something happened in the house or something bad happened and then they lost like and they had to like redo it, and it's just like this constant negotiation. But that it has to be firm with your children, which is different aspect, right? And something I still struggle with me and her, because I even catch myself, oh come on, just let because I don't see him as much because of work, and she's with him all the time, and like I've even been guilty of what I call triangulating. Right, which is like when there's a triangle going on, like you're talking to me, I'm talking to him, he's talking to me. Instead of it being like
a family thing, everybody.
It should be parents, and there should be children. You
know? Okay.
See what I'm saying? It should be this way.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. And then this should be firm. But a lot of that comes with negotiation in the background, supporting one another. You know what I mean? And you got to practice that well before you have the children. Right, so there always has to be, and a lot of people will tell you like, oh, he's a simp, like this dude, like he's over here, like, nah, bro. If you want a healthy relationship, it's give and take, okay? And then if you want to have a child, get ready. You will no longer important. You know, there's finally somebody, and this he said as well too. So it's not even me, but it's how I felt. He was able to articulate.
You resonated with it,
and he's so good at articulating.
No, bro, I look up to him.
Yeah, so do I. That's great, man. That's a great role model. So he basically was saying that wow, this podcast is awesome. So he was basically saying that with what was I lost my train of thought.
Peterson and give and take.
Give and take. Oh, that like okay, like bro, there's been times where I was like an unhealthy person, or like I didn't have my life together, like high school sweetheart type of deal. Yeah. And like I love this girl more than I love myself. You know what I'm saying? You guys can't recognize, and that's not healthy. Like you shouldn't, okay? Because you're not even properly
truly simping.
And you're also not like and you're also not properly loving somebody if you don't even know what it is. First, you feel me?
Oh, okay, I get
so he was saying that like at best in a marriage you love that person equally. You know what I'm saying? And that's at best.
Yeah.
You know, but truthfully you might even love yourself more, or you love yourself equally. Like I love my wife as much as I love myself. Yeah. Okay, but you love your children, bro, and you cannot explain this to somebody. And I know you can imagine. You know, but until you truly have your own children, you really would like if my kid right now needed my liver, okay, and I was going to die in the process. It would not take me long. Okay, however long it takes to sign and do whatever I got to do, because how am I going to live without him? I'd rather had given him a life than me have to live without him. You know what I'm saying? Wow,
that's gonna be a clip on the Instagram right there. I can already feel it.
Oh, and same thing with my daughter. I don't have any favorites. You know, but he just came first, and you know, it came to mind.
I got
you. So like, you know, and another thing, and the same thing, and this is why I don't know how if you're gonna edit this.
No, you're good, bro. It's gonna be raw.
Okay, cool. But like, I don't know if this is flowing into the next thing as well. But he says something in that same seminar, and when you guys are like, oh, you might want to close with a quote, I know I should have told you that, and we didn't speak about anything.
No, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying? So I wanted to just like, this is the first thing that popped in my head, right? And I think it kind of like is perfect for how our conversation is going. But he said in there that there was you know, that people, right, like that you do this to even your wife, or you do this to your girlfriend, right? That like when you don't feel good, you know, like you might like say things to hurt them, right? We're all guilty of that, especially like, you know, that takes a long time to have the discipline.
Yeah, that's
long time, and then you might even do it for a long time and then fall, you know, that one back into it. Yeah, because like, you know what, I've been good for a long time, and now, you know, you just really got me today, and I'm gonna like snap now.
That's
you know
true,
what I'm saying? And it happens, you know. And I think if I'm being honest with you, it happened right before I left. You know what I'm saying? And you know, we say something that you know, out of frustration, or that we're just like, okay, you know, enough of this or whatever. But so he was saying it along the lines of like, you know, when you and your wife kind of come into a position, and then I guess things aren't going well, and then you start to notice that she starts maybe dressing nice or taking care of herself or whatever, and then because you're unhappy and you're insecure in the situation, now you shoot her down, right? You're like, oh no, what are you dressing up like that for? You know, instead of saying, you know, you look good, you look beautiful tonight, you know, and that could change the whole relationship back to you, bro. That power, like we're talking about words and how important words are and what we tell each other, you know, and so like, boom, you should have said that. And then he related it to this. And this is the quote I was going to bring up. I wasn't even going to give any background. So essentially, he was saying how you could train a dog, right? If a dog's hungry and you put a bowl of food in the corner of the room, and every time that dog goes to eat, you whack him in the head with a newspaper. Same way you just did your wife. When you say, hey, you know what I'm saying? Don't wear that. You know what I'm saying? What do you think you're doing? Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You think you look cute? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Like how, you know, it's the same way that they've done to us. You know what I'm saying? And this is a common theme in relationships, even with friends. Okay? It doesn't even have to be sexual. Yeah. Okay? It could just be friends. Like, oh, I feel like you're outgrowing me. I got to knock you back down somewhere over here together. Yeah. Like, what do you mean we don't drink Henny on Thursdays? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know? So he said that with that dog, if you whack that dog like 30 times, it just stops trying to eat. It just starves itself. It actually dies. Okay? Yeah. And so, and you know, Jordan, he started crying because he cries anytime anything. You know what I'm saying? He got to work on it. Yeah, but because he speaks from the heart. You know what I'm saying? And it just kind of, I've been that dog, bro. In my life, a lot of my life, you know, you know, growing up and, you know, having an older brother, my father, you know, certain things like that was said or done, and that whack made me starve myself, you know, and I guess my quote would be that we're not dogs, and that we don't have to take that. You get what I'm saying? That's the difference between us and dogs. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that you have to know that first about yourself. Okay. That when people go to whack you with that newspaper and shoot you down and say, oh, it's just, why are you wasting time with this podcast? You know, anything you're doing. Why are you going to the gym, man? You ain't going to get big. You know, why you not eating McDonald's? It's okay to do it once in a while. You know what I'm saying? Like, anytime, that's a whack. Yeah. With the newspaper. If you think about it, okay? It is. It is. And you have to be aware of those whack, and that you're not a dog, and that you will not starve yourself. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's Jordan Peterson. That's not me. You know what I'm saying? But that's something I took from that marriage thing that I wasn't looking for that. Yeah, but and it was excellent. And I feel like I'm, you know, try to apply a lot of stuff that he said. Also, if you're religious, bro, watch the Genesis and the lectures that he did on Genesis and on Exodus. Now he's got.
He's doing it.
Oh man! And then you could go and buy the tickets. Yo, he broke it down. The Exodus is even better than Genesis because he breaks it down at a round table with other theologians and other people in expertise. And yo, they'll like read like a difficult passage. It might be hard, and then they just put it into layman's terms, bro. And then they put it into like in the modern world, like how we do. And it's just like, whoa, this is such a valuable source of information. Like that, we're depriving ourselves of thinking that it's all made up and we don't need it. But even if, and this is something that I would say, even if it is fake, let's just pretend, right? Yeah. And I'll be like, okay, this is all real, it's all bullshit, it's all fairy tale, okay? I'm gonna argue that the importance of it doesn't come from whether it's real or not. The importance comes from the necessity of the wisdom, the rules, and the knowledge that came from thousands of years, bro, that cultivated into the most perfect scripture of a collection of books. That I'm not going to argue that, like, whether or not God is real with people. Yeah. Okay? But I'm going to argue the necessity for God in our society. Yeah. The world needs God, or something greater than ourselves. I'm not going to tell you who God is, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But something greater than ourselves, because I think that we're living through a self-centered culture and a society that puts materialism and dopamine first, and selfishness and feeling, you know what I'm saying? And they're not, you know what I'm saying?
We need love, bro.
Yeah, love and God is love. Yeah. It's endless love.
Yeah, that's what I said, man. Yeah. So, not like that, man. Jordan Peterson always try to, like, I wish I could speak like that, but I know I can if I try hard enough, you know? Something that I've also learned a lot through the podcast and stuff is I edit it, so I hear myself. So sometimes I hear myself stuttering, or I hear myself saying a lot, and I hate that. But then I'll go back and watch somebody like him. I'll say somebody like Andrew Tate. He's also one that just speaks without having to think about what he's saying. But it's not like that because he thinks about it. You know what I'm saying? Like their minds are just working so fast that they can articulate. Him as well, bro. They just articulate themselves so well, and it's something that, bro, I'm working on that. You know.
I'm glad this is that I had the experience of doing the first one, because when I watched the first one, I said, you know what I'm saying? Like after every single thing I said.
You know what I'm saying?
And then I was like, why do I fucking say, you know what I'm saying? All the time. Of course, they just heard me. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, it happens like that. Yeah, I'll be like, I'm gonna stop saying like, and then right after I say like.
No, it comes over time, and it comes with experience. And now you're on episode 50, and it's going a lot smoother than I'm probably episode 5. You know,
but still, man, I still hear myself. I catch myself. So it's an ongoing battle, but I'm a win at the end. You know, I still got years to go.
Yeah, relentlessness. Man.
Yeah, but I feel like that was a good way to wrap the show up, man. It's definitely not gonna be the last one we do. We gotta get you back in.
Yeah, let's go on another episode, and then in the 1050 episode, we get Jordan Peterson on.
Hey, man, let's get it. But like before we even end it off, let's just give one off for the ones that we had for the actual episode. So this episode was supposed to be 3 ways.
You want to say it for?
No, man. Let's say one. We could say it for next episode. But 3 ways to the actual episode was supposed to be 3 ways to better yourself or to level up in 2023. So that's what we wanted to get into. But the conversation got even better. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even mad at it at all. We got into very deep topics, and this is kind of the reason why we started the podcast too. We wanted to get into highly educated conversations instead of just talking about some nonsense. Because I'll be watching some content online, bro, and they be saying some stuff that you wouldn't even hear kids talking about, you know?
Yeah.
We try to keep it
talking about just filler shit.
Yeah,
nothing.
That's a perfect way to describe it. But Kenny, you want to give one? If you have one way that you would think, or that you think somebody would level up in 2023, you can go ahead and think about it while we.
Can I give you the 3 ways?
You go ahead, man. Go. If you got it on, if you got it up right now, go.
Yeah, mind, body, and soul. Mind, read books, learn, educate yourself. Read articles, like research. Okay, and body, go to the gym, work out, eat well, exercise, and then soul, pray.
Got you. I like that.
He said there's best 3. I mean, I don't know how can I top that.
Oh, man, you don't have anything different? Honestly, I like that though.
Look, I have working out. I have invest in yourself, which could be soul and body, and learn a high income skill.
Yeah, I mean, I had start a business, learn a a profitable skill, learn something, master the craft, become self-accountable. And we've talked about that the whole episode, so that's perfect.
I had questions for you that you answer without me having to ask you.
Yeah,
I talk too much, man. I answered all 3 of the questions.
Yeah,
exactly. See,
the last one was start now, stop procrastinating, because people
shouldn't put this in front of me, man.
No, it was good. That's good, bro. That's good, bro.
Yeah.
But I appreciate you really for pulling up, and I appreciate you for your kind words and for the knowledge you dropped. Honestly, because I'm not gonna sit here and act like I didn't learn something today. I definitely did, and I for real, thank you for pulling up, bro.
Not saying that just because you're here, but this has been the best podcast.
No,
happy to hear that, man.
Yeah.
That's what's up, man. That makes me feel good. You know
honestly speaking, bro.
I had a great time with y'all, man. And now, when you see me in the gym, holler at me, give me a pound.
No, for sure, bro.
Motivate me, man. Don't let
me
quit.
And even outside of that, I hope you develop a relationship outside of the gym and stuff, because
100%.
Like the way you think, man.
Yeah, and you've been through a lot more than we've been.
You know what I'm saying? Hit me up. I'm around.
I got
you. Know what I'm saying? I'm always here. Bro, real quick, yo, like even with this Exodus 90 thing that I'm doing, right? Like I didn't really, God does everything. I'm like the leader of a fraternity now by accident. You get what I'm saying?
Okay.
And but I'm happy about it. I got like guys from Australia, all these type of things. So like I have to hold a meeting with all these people I don't know. This is uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I do like we're gonna do like a group FaceTime Sunday at 9 p.m. You know what I'm saying? It's every Sunday for the next 3 months. Okay. And it's like to check that, and to like give feedback about all the daily disciplines in which we signed up for. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up.
And then to like share knowledge and whatever.
It's a brotherhood of keeping each other accountable.
Exactly. Of keeping each other accountable, and also giving advice or learning, or what you might be struggling with. Or maybe you say, listen, I'm falling short in this. I'm really struggling with this. And then, somebody says something like, well, you know what, I was too. And, this helped me, and it's just being vulnerable. It's not all about being cool or being like, oh, I got this, being hard. Being hard is important. You know what I'm saying? But I think you get there also by allowing yourself to be humble and vulnerable enough and teachable enough.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
Got to keep the mind of a student. I heard that from Luke Belmar. I'm not gonna sit here like I made that up.
But that's fine. Luke, shout out Luke Belmar.
You always have to. It's like if you come into every situation just willing to hear somebody out and learn, bro, there's no wrong in that at all. There's no way you can't learn.
And if you don't take anything of it, you were open-minded to absorb something from it. Or learn what not to do. You could also learn what not to do from people.
I also heard that from I forget his name. He's on Instagram, but he's a very successful guy. He always talks about when people ask him, like, come up to him, he pulls up in the Rolls Royce, and they're like, oh, what do you do? He's like, nah, it's not what I do, it's what I don't do. You know,
yo, that's big.
That's hard.
That is major because a lot of what I don't do, and I actually sometimes the hardest thing is just not doing something.
Yeah,
it's harder than doing something.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So that's deep.
No, that's hard. Yeah,
I like that.
But no, man. Like I said, hopefully, we could get like a dinner once in a while.
Yeah, I love
so we
that.
can just talk about business, talk about life in general. Because like I said, you've gone through a lot more things than I have, and there's probably more things that you have that I haven't experienced myself. So it's always good to keep somebody around you who has the knowledge that we could be seeking for, right? Even if it's not that, just a friendship that we could never learn that.
We talk about business, and then you know when I get close enough, he'll tell me what he was hiring me.
Man. But Kenny, you got anything you want to say, man?
Man, great episode. Again, thank you for coming through. Man, you talk so much, man. I'm gonna rewatch this podcast.
Me
and
too. I might have to edit it, and then I'm gonna still rewatch it later on because I know I'm gonna find something in there.
Send it to me.
It's up to you, man. And
for sure.
I'll put it out there for you, man. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
we got you. No, we're gonna tag you in and all that shit. Like what we did with Vic, it had every time we posted a clip, you were the first person who's tagged it. You know,
nice.
Have that and then have it posted everywhere.
I'm not gonna be on IG for 3 months though.
No, you good.
So
you good. Anywhere.
If you get it out before January 9th, I'm on it.
You gonna get link? No, definitely gonna be out before then. Yeah, we'll be good. She'll be coming out either this Friday or Saturday, one of the 2 days. It's gonna be a longer episode, so it's gonna take me a little bit longer to edit, but it will definitely be out this weekend. You know.
Nice. Sounds good.
But yeah, bro, thank you so much for pulling up.
Thank you guys for having me. For real.
Yeah,
it's a great experience, man.
Pull up to Legends, man. The location is gonna be in the description, all that. Pat's info is gonna be down there in terms of your IG. I'm not gonna put your phone number out there or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about that, you know.
Make sure you book Pat and Vic.
Yeah.
Shout out Vic.
Shout out
and
Vic.
all the 10 other barbers besides me and Vic over there that are all talented, bro. And really, I don't hire no scrubs, bro. Like honestly, everybody there could cut, and everybody there.
Actually, Isaac just hit me up. He wants to do a video with me.
Isaac's fire, bro. That's my boy. Shout out Isaac. I love him, bro. Yo, so I met Isaac, bro. Like he was.
He's
I
young
probably
too.
gave him his like first ball fade, but I met him. He was like a youngin', bro. I don't even know, 9th grade probably. I started cutting his hair, and then like he always gives me my flowers, bro. He always gives me big ups, like you know, he tried to tell me he a barber because of me, cause like, bro, I basically was like his first like barber. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, you get your hair cut someday, and then like I was his first barber, whatever, and then. He kind of had that moment where he didn't know what he wanted to do, and I told him to go to school I went to, and then now look at where we are now. Yeah, and he's doing his thing now, bro. He's gotten really a lot. Like I'm very impressed with where his skills are now. You know what I'm saying? Because like everybody, you don't start being nice and cut hair, bro. You know that comes from the 10,000 hours.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Shout out to them. Shout out to Isaac. He did hit me up. He wants to do some work. He said after the new year he's gonna hit me up and we're gonna get started on that.
He's over to the casino now. He a grown man now. He ain't a little boy now.
Yeah, but I just wanted to say before we end the episode, it's the new year, so there's no excuse. I don't want to hear nothing about I can't do this because of this. Go out there, put yourself in uncomfortable situations, and make your dreams come true. Make every goal that you have right now, make it 10 times bigger and go accomplish that shit. Like, go out there and do it.
Understand that the world doesn't own you like shit. Like you gotta go and get it.
That's a fact, man. And you just heard his whole story, so don't think just because you're in a down point in your life right now that you can't turn that shit right back around and come back up.
It's never too late. It's never too late. You reap what you sow.
I thank y'all for tuning in to this long ass episode, and if you made it this far, I appreciate you, and you're smart enough to actually sit through a long conversation like this because you already know the time, the focus is something that's very, what is it?
The attention span.
Attention span is
this
something that is
generation,
very messed up in this generation. So hopefully, if you stayed here, you learned something, and if you did leave a comment or something in the comments, leave something down there to let us know you made it this far. What should we do? Like a emoji or some shit?
Do the water. Is that a water emoji?
I don't even
like a
know.
water bottle?
Yeah, leave an emoji, anything you want down in the comments. We're going to end it here, but thank y'all for pulling up. We forgot to clock in the beginning of the episode. I'm not going to lie. So let's just clock out. So we're called Clocked In Podcast. So, you go to a job, you clock in. Right now, we're clocked in.
We're clocking out.
Yeah, so we're clocking out right now. So, thank y'all so much for pulling up. Let's clock out real quick. And hey, we are out. Yeah, man.
I'm on my
catch y'all next
W2.
episode.
Thank you for coming, man.
Peace, man.